All right, y'all. All right. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? All right, y'all. Um, I was having a discussion with somebody earlier, and we were just talking about whether black men are the responsible party or should be the responsible party. Oh, yeah, camera. Sorry. That black men should be the responsible party. Well, responsible party of what, Brother Clarence? Well, good afternoon to all of y'all that's out there. Sister G, I see you. Are black men supposed to be responsible for the condition of the black community? Well, Brother Clarence, what's the condition of the black community? The black community is pretty much in shambles. I mean, we have the highest promiscuity, we have the highest drug use, we have the highest incarceration, we have the highest broken families, we have the worst math scores per capita. Of course, we have young men and women that some kind of way find a way to avoid these traps, but most of our community, we're talking in majorities, most of our community, man, is suffering from the trauma of slavery and all that brought with it up to this point. But with all that being said, who's responsible for correcting this situation if it is to be corrected? Now, let me say this. This is a very unpopular topic. Nobody really wants to talk about what black people should do to correct their situation. Everybody's like, hey, I'm just going to get my bag. I ain't worried about other black people. F them. We have a YouTuber that espoused that philosophy. Well, we got many YouTubers that espouse that philosophy, but one in particular just got demonetized for not for espousing that. He was espousing some other issues, some other things, but I knew it was going to happen sooner or later with him talking about the black community the way he did. It just was going to get him in a bad situation. So my advice to you, if you don't want to, if you got nothing nice to say about the black community, just leave it alone. Brother Willie Dane, peace, Brother Willie Dane, peace, Brother Clarence. Yeah, peace to you, Brother Willie Dane, peace to you, man. Hope you stick around. I'll put the link out in a while, man. You guys can check in if you want to. If not, just sit back and listen, whatever. I think Sister G could tell you I'm a pretty good bus driver. I'll get us where we're trying to go. But, like I said, if you guys want to chime in, hey, I'll put the link out in a little while. Glad to have you in the building, Brother Willie Dane. Anyway, we're talking about whether black men are responsible for correcting the situation in the black community. And if not, who is? Well, you have a lot of different camps. Some camps, peace and blessing, Brother D. I hope you got that text I sent you, man. I really need you to jump on that, man, and work on it because I've already committed us to doing it. So I need your help, man. But anyway, getting back to black men. Are black men responsible? And if not, if black men aren't responsible, who is responsible? Well, let's see what our options are on the table. Our options are black children, black women, the LGBT community, or the Caucasian society, greater society, or black men. One of those five people have to be responsible or have to do something if the black community is going to turn around. What I mean is turn around is, like I said, we're the worst in, we have the highest promiscuity rate of women, of females under 12 years old. That is a fact. We have the highest unmarried women rate. That is a fact. We have the lowest test scores per capita. That is a fact. And we have the highest mortality rate. That is a fact. So I mean, every category of of a group of people down bad, we are doing very well in those categories. We either the highest of the high or the lowest of the low. Uh, Brother Rashawn, it isn't our fault, but it's our responsibility. Yeah, well, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. I'm gonna break it down, and then you guys let me know what you guys think. So, like I said, one of those five people are responsible. Can we put the burden on black children to correct this situation? Okay, I think all of us are smart enough to realize black children are not in a position even consider fixing this situation. You know, there was Pharaoh, taking the Hebrews for slaves, and what he said to his people was, he said, keep the old ones away from the young ones. And they said, why? Because if you keep the young one, if you keep the old ones remember when they was free, and they will start telling the young ones stories about when they was free, and that will inspire them to rebel so they can seek their freedom. But if you keep the young ones away from the older ones, they will this is all they know. Slavery will be all they know. They won't know any better, and they won't strive for nothing better, right? So they try to keep us watching different programming. It's called programming for a reason, right? It's like you program a TV, you program a computer, you can program a human being. You can actually program a human being. You can program a human being, give a human being what do you call that? A set of instructions for them to carry out, and encourage them by positive reinforcement to carry out the instructions that you give it, whether morally they feel it good to do it or not. With positive or negative reinforcement, you can get a person to follow certain programming, right? Well, that's what Pharaoh did to the Hebrews, because he knew once these Hebrews got inspired to change, inspired to reach for more than what they were being shown, more than their life, the slavery aspect of their lives, he knew he was going to have a problem on his hands sooner or later. So that's why they tried to keep them separated, right? Okay, well, the same thing here, keeping us separated from our children with television programming to keep them always wanting more money. And if they want more money, in this society, there's a place for you if you want more money. In this society, I mean a greater society, Eurocentric society. There's a place for you if you just want money. That's how come you can have a person like Anton Daniels and others, and the guy he even brought on, the millionaire he brought on, calling him a predator and all of that. That's why you can have guys like that can have their own lane, because if it's about money, that's the only thing, right? Sister Glenda, that's why it's called the boob tube, subliminal mind control. Yeah, it is. It really is, Sister G. But most of our people don't look at it that way. And now the boob tube 2.0 is the internet. That's the internet, where you can find anything that, whatever you're looking for, you can find it on the internet, and they'll tell you it's okay. It's okay to do it, right? I don't know if you guys are familiar with a man named Master Farad Muhammad. Master Farad Muhammad said that America is the only place you can find followers. They'll follow you for anything. You can be teaching on anything, and you can find followers in America. JP, peace and blessings, bro. Clarence, hard driving soldiers in the chat. How's your spirit? We're doing good so far, JP. You know what I mean? The hard driving soldiers is in the house. They're in the building. They trickling in. But you know what I'm saying? We're gonna mash through anyway. Let's see, JB. Yo, what's good? What's good? What's good? So, like we said, we got 5 possibilities. the black man, the black woman, the black child, the Eurocentric Caucasian community, and I think I named somebody else. I'll remember it later. But the point is, the black children, no, they're not going to be able. They're not in a position to do anything. They're not going. They're not in a position to do anything about this situation. Now, let's move on to the next person in line. Black women. Black women have been blamed for everything. They've been blamed for the high birth rate. They've been blamed for broken homes. They've been blamed for divorces. They've been blamed for high debt to income ratios in the black community. They've been blamed for just about everything. They've been blamed for just about everything. And I'm not here to say that a lot of our sisters they have chicken wings in their back, but I remember Sister G was telling me that a lot of our sisters have been traumatized sexually. They've had experiences where they've been touched, molested. They've had experiences, and a lot of times they don't say this out loud. They don't put it out there out loud. Friendsgiving, where you been, girl? Hey, Brother Clarence. Hey, chat. Huh? Black women have been, JP. Huh? Black women have been laying it at black men's feet for the last 20 years. I'm gonna uncover. I'm gonna sweep all the dust off of it, JP. Just give me a minute. But black men have been. Black women have been blamed for everything. In black men's circles, they have been blamed for everything. Especially if you go into a place like the manosphere and the white manosphere, they will blame women for everything. But the black manosphere will blame black women specifically for just the breakdown of the family unit in the black community, right? And there may be some validity to some of that. But really, who is on duty in the black community? Whose post is that? In any other community, if the society falls apart, that will fall on the men, typically, right? The Roman society fell apart. They didn't blame the women. They blamed the men, right? They said they wouldn't fight anymore, right? And they wouldn't. Most of them guys, they got a piece of land far away from the craziness of the Roman dictators, and they just said, I'm staying here. Why should I go out and fight for this dude? Go do all that fighting for them, and I get nothing out of it, right? So if a society falls, the same thing with the Greeks. Greek society fell because of the men, right? The men wanting to not be with women, right? Same thing with the Romans. The men not wanting to be with women, that made the society fall. Brother Clarence, are you saying that homosexuality made that community fall apart? Absolutely. So you saying homosexuality is a bad thing? I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just telling the truth. If men, and you get to a point where men don't want to, more men that you have in your society don't want to spend time sexually with women. They want to spend more time with men. That is going to affect the birth rate, is it not? That's just the mathematics of that situation, isn't it? Okay, well, we know that's what happened with the Greeks and the Romans. We know that's what happened. They documented that. That's documented. So we know that happened. Matter of fact, they were having everything except heterosexual sex. They were doing almost everything except heterosexual sex. Right? Friendsgiving. Checking in, Brother Clarence. Always good to see you and hear your perspective. Thank you, Friendsgiving. Appreciate you guys. Glad to have you in the building. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't got time to stay, give me a drive-by like. And I appreciate everything. And I appreciate everybody because all of y'all could be doing something else and y'all found your way here. So I appreciate y'all. It's a good topic, though. We definitely want to discuss it and put it out there. And I want to get you guys' opinions on it. Even if you just give it to me in the chat, I want to get you guys' opinions on it. But I'm going to lay it all on the table right now. So, we know that in every society where the society fell, that was on top, that was at the men's feet. Okay, now let's push it up. Now let's push it up to our people coming into America. Well, we were brought here. Elijah Muhammad taught us that we were brought here in 1555 and not 1619, as they teach. 64 years of buck-breaking history that was hidden. The stuff that they did that was so wicked, bro. They had to hide what they did. Once they got you, shaved the edges off of you and got you to accept that you were going to be a slave and accept that you weren't going back home. You kept looking up in the sky, waiting on God to come and bring you a chariot to take you home. And the chariot never came. Not to you out there, not to the slave out there. The slave, there was a sacrifice that slave had to make so that the chariot could come and bring you and me home. What's the chariot? What's the chariot that's bringing you and me home? That the chariot that flies in the sky. You open that book, you open those books, and what does it look like? It looks like wings. Those books look like wings. That's the winged chariot that's going to take you home. Your education, your knowledge will take you home. Right guided knowledge will take you home. What's home? Home is a place of safety. Home is a place where you can chase your dreams and be safe. You got people around you that care about you, like-minded people. That's home. That's home. That's where we want to be. It's home. But if we can't be home physically in our land of our fathers, then we have to be home here. We got to make our home here where we was kidnapped and brought. Now that we're making our home here, how do we get to the point where we're so screwed up? We're here now. How do we get to the point where we screwed up, right? Most of the people say, you was slavery, that was so long ago, you should be on top of the game now. Really? Really? So you just take a person for 400 years, enslave them, and then you say, here you go. Go ahead and get out there and put yourself up by your bootstraps. We're not going to teach you about business. We're not going to teach you about science. We're not going to teach you about nothing else. We're not going to teach you about the science of marriage. We're not going to teach you about the science of mating. We're not going to teach you about the science of agriculture. We're not going to teach you about any of these things. Go on out there and make a name for yourself. And if you don't, there's something wrong with you. Right? Let me catch up on some of these chats. JB, what's going on in YouTube world? Too many YouTube beefs. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. I think I have to pull myself away from all of that because I can't get everybody to stay on the same page. So obviously they respect me enough to do it in my face, but when I'm not in the when I step away from the thing, boom, they just get right back into it. JB, we need to be taking that pent up frustration and build something. You're right. That's what we're trying to do, JB. We start now with a snowball. Eventually, we're gonna get to a avalanche. So we starting to hang tight. JB, some say you were not kidnapped. You were always here. No, brother, we was actually kidnapped. We've been here. We had been here before, but we weren't kidnapped. So that's a whole nother issue, and I'll get into that later. But that's a whole nother issue. Yes, we were kidnapped. When you take somebody against their will, put them in a vehicle, take them away from their home, and you force them to servitude. That's kidnapping. That's kidnapping, assault, rape, and whatever else they did. All right. So just being real with you on that. Let's see, Sister G. Adapting to European culture instead of passing our own to our own generation is where we went wrong. Okay, I'm getting to that, Sister G. Thank you. I'm getting to that. So how did we get to where we are? See, when we got off that boat, we had our own ways of doing things. We had our own ways of codes of conduct, right? And those codes of conduct kept peace among the tribes, right? How now do we need those codes of conduct when we're in servitude to somebody else? Do we need those codes of conduct? No, we don't need that anymore, because now our code of conduct is not, it has nothing to do with us. It doesn't matter. We're slaves, so we don't need a code of conduct. The only code of conduct we need is master say do something, we better hop to, right? There's no need for shame, right? Because the master could tell you, hey, give me some oral pleasure right here in the field. You ain't got no need for shame. Shame could get in the way of your survival. So you have to throw shame out, right? Your manhood. Master could say, hey, you're a good looking buck. We want to have a good time with you, playboy. We want you to be a playboy for us, right? And after you get out of the field, they take you into a room with a bunch of other masters, and they play with you. They take your manhood from you. Now you got to decide: am I going to keep my manhood and die, or check this out? They play a game with you that you never ever had to play in your own country. You never had to play this game, but now you have to play this game here. There's somebody you really care about. You got a daughter, a wife, or whatever. Somebody you really care about. Once they see you really care about this person, they don't kill you. They harm that person. If you don't do what we're telling you to do, we're going to harm this person. That's why black men have to always act like they don't care about nobody. Because if they act like they care about somebody, they'll either sell them, harm them, do something if they resist. So that didn't come out of nowhere. But people think black men are just hard-hearted. No, it came out of protecting our people, man. We try to protect our people. You know, and that came down to one of the only ways we could protect them, to act like we didn't care for them, so the master won't think we care about them and they would just focus their evil on us as the man. Y'all don't hear me though. Y'all don't hear me. I'm talking way ahead of y'all. JB, we were here before, but in large amounts. Chattel slavery is separate from exploring. Yes, chattel slavery is separate from exploring. We've been here. We've been all over the planet. We've been all over the planet. Like I said, they teach you about the Olmecs. What does the Olmec mean? Old Mexicans. The old Mexicans is us. We're the old Mexicans, right? We're the old Mex. That's why you see those statues. They look like us. The face looks like us, because we're the old Mex. Some of us that wanted to explore and branch out, we came over here. That's why Elijah Muhammad said the Native American was our, meaning the black man who has no birth record, our oldest living relative. He said the Native American is our oldest living relative. He said he's our oldest living relative. So who is the Mexican? The Mexican is the Native American, and the Spanish mixed in. The Spanish came in and conquered them, and he's the Spanish and the Native American mixed in. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. Getting back to slavery and how you did not need no morality, right? Morality and slavery don't go together. You don't need to have a moral compass in slavery, right? And you enslaved, you just got to do what they tell you to do, period, the end, right? Any resistance can get you killed, get your family killed, get anybody you care about killed, and you have to watch it. What they used to do is they'll make you watch that person getting tortured. Why? Because it's psychological lessons. They knew what they was doing. Read the Willie Lynch papers. They knew what they're doing, the psychological programming that they was doing. Let you know any resistance might not only cost you your life, but it may cost somebody else, innocent people, their life. So how do we get to this point? So the servitude and the abuse, they started cutting. They in the 1800s they stopped going and getting slaves. Why? Because they just felt bad for us. No, they didn't. They realized, man, you got these big old plantations out there, and you got maybe 100 to 100 black people to one white person on the plantation. They start realizing we getting too many, we bringing too many of them over here. If they figure out how to get these guns together, they get everything together, they can rebel against us, but good. They saw what happened in Haiti. They saw what happened in South America. They were just chopping white folks' heads off, right? But what do you do with a slave master? What else can you do with a slave master? You think you're gonna take a slave master and the slave master's gonna say, "Oh well, hey, you know what? You guys want to be free? Oh, okay. Let me just go ahead and make you free." No. Or the government said you free, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, okay. Well, the government said you guys free. Hey, let me help you. Let me teach you how to read. Let me teach you the science of business. So you can go into business for yourself. Let me teach you the science of money." No. They still hate you the same way they hated you when they had you as a piece of property. Now, let me say this, because I got a lot of people that come back here and say, they come to me and say, "Well, Brother Clarence, slavery's in the Bible. Slavery's in the Bible. So it's always been." No. It is in the Bible. It is in the Bible. But before that time, before slavery was mercy. Slavery was mercy. Brother Clarence, what are you talking about now? What are you talking about now? I mean, slavery was a mercy. I mean, you go in, your warriors go in, and they killed all the men. Ain't nothing but little kids, old men, and women hiding under rocks and hiding under tables and stuff. Should they put all of them to death? Or can they take them and make them be a useful, functioning person of society? So they take them and try and see. And then if they show that they can be a useful piece of society, they'll work their way out of slavery. That's how slavery supposed to go. It was just a complication of war. That's what it was supposed to be. It wasn't supposed to be, let's go get them people and make them come over here and work. But when Europeans they saw that slavery situation, when they came to Africa and they saw that situation, they said, "Oh, these people born to be like this." They didn't realize it's just the spoils of war. We spared their lives so that they would dedicate themselves to learning our culture and being a better person. But everybody's black. Now you got the popes seeing this, and the Pope was given 2 or 3 slaves that was already engineered to work for him. Once other whites around saw that, they said, "Hey, this is because hard to get white people to work for you for free, man. White people ain't built like that, man. They're not gonna work too long for you for free. They gotta have something at the end of the road." Whereas us, we always was looking for God to come in and do something for us. And we didn't step in and take our own destiny into our own hands. We just didn't do it, unfortunately. But like I said, we had issues before people even came over here and took us as slaves. That's how they was able to get that off, because we had those issues already. But I ain't gonna get into that. Let's get back to America. So we're here in America. And now we fight in a war, it's a civil war, right? The Civil War happens, and we fight in a war on both sides. On both sides. On the South side, they tell you, "Oh, well, if you fight for us in the South, we gonna give you your freedom." Lying to them like a mug, right? And then on the North side, they say, if we lose, you know what's gonna happen. If these guys win, you know what's gonna happen. So it was a tough battle. But like I said before, the American Civil War was strictly over money. It wasn't over nothing else. The South was about to create their own financial situation, financial system, And Abraham Lincoln was not going to let that happen. Not Abraham Lincoln, but I forgot the guy who was before him, right before him. Anyway, they were not going to let that happen. Anyway, so now you're at the end of the Civil War, and Abraham Lincoln says, "Stamp Emancipation Proclamation, you free, right? You free." But a lot of those white plantation owners, they said, "Well, if they ain't know, if they can't read, so how do they know they free?" So I ain't gonna tell them. But the Juneteenth, allegedly, that's when you find out in June that you was free, right? You've been free for months, quote unquote free, right? But how were you free? Let's think about that. See, people come from other countries. They say, "Damn, man, I'm here, and how come you guys been here since 1500s, and you still ain't doing ish, right?" But you came up with, you already learned about business when you was in your own land. You learned how to read when you was in your own land. You come over here and you learn English, you learn how to do it already. There wasn't nobody standing in your way. We had a whole race of people standing in our way. They wouldn't teach us about business. They wouldn't teach us about agriculture. They wouldn't teach us about how to eat to live. They wouldn't teach us about technology. They wouldn't teach us about nothing. I mean, on a mass scale, we had different people that found their way into that kind of situation, but they wouldn't teach us about anything. I'm just telling the truth, man. I mean, I ain't trying to blame nobody. I'm just telling the truth that we weren't taught any of those things. But they say, "Hey, get up on your bootstraps," right? The Jews, when they went over to take the land from the Palestinians, not only did they take the land from the Palestinians, they took it from them, but they also got a big check, cash money from the American government. Not only that, but they got development money to develop that area and make it livable, meaning putting up living units and putting up places where people could get jobs, factories and stuff like that. They got money from the U.S. government and the central bank. Am I lying? Am I lying? Somebody tell me I'm lying. So they just dropped the Jews over there and say, "Hey, go for it. Pick yourself up by your bootstraps." What about the Japanese? They dropped 2 bombs on the Japanese, right? Nobody said, "Hey, that was 40 years ago. That was 80 years ago. Pick yourself up by your bootstraps." No, they give the Japanese money as of today. Give them money every year as of today. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? I hate those brothers and sisters just for asking for money. They looked at it as they want something that's not theirs. Well, the U.S. government told us, black people, that they were going to give us each 40 acres and a mule. That's what they said. So we're not asking you for nothing that we're not begging you for nothing. This is what you owe us. We just want what you said you was going to give us. Give it to us. You're giving it to the Jews, and now you're giving it to the Afghans that's coming here, giving them good housing, food, clothing, money. And we as black people, we got people dying in the streets. We got people dying in the streets, man. Think about that for just a minute. Your tax money is going to help Afghans. Okay, no problem. But how come we ain't got none of that money coming to help us as well? Your tax money is going over to Israel. Okay, no problem. But how come ain't none of it coming over here to help us? Your tax money is going over to Japan. Cool, no problem. What about us, though? Anyway, let's get back to this question. Let's get back to the question. Who is responsible in the black community? Who is responsible? How are we going to turn this thing around? Well, like I said, I'm laying it out. So you get out of, now the Reconstruction happens. Okay, so some of us get able to get jobs in the Reconstruction. You learn how to build. Again, you are the builder of the planet, but you learn again because you forgot that knowledge because you've been working under the rest for all them years, 300 years. Now they let you put a hammer in your hand. You learn how to build again. You relearn that knowledge. You learn how to build. You learn how to build the kind of structures that they like to live in. Because the kind of structures we like to live in, that knowledge is kept secret and hidden. But you learn how to build the way they live, the houses the way they want them, right? Some of us, a few of us learn this stuff, but not enough of us to make a mass exodus into profitability, right? We got a few people doing a few different things, but per capita, no. And that's what we're trying to deal with, the per capita situation. So now you're at the 1900s. So now they just say, hey, get up, pull yourself up off your bootstraps. Slavery, that was 40 years ago. That was 20 years ago. Pull yourself up off your bootstraps. But you ain't got no bootstraps to pull yourself up on. You don't have a knowledge of science of business. You don't have a knowledge of science of economics. You have a science of how to eat to live. You don't have the science of how to educate yourself. You don't have discipline. You were never taught discipline. You was only taught to move in fear. Think about that for just a minute. That's why it's not good. It's not good to motivate your children just with fear. God don't motivate us with just fear. He'll motivate us with fear, but not all the time. Because you can't motivate somebody all the time with fear. They will lose their grip. You're motivating somebody with fear. You motivate your children with fear. One day when they don't fear you, they won't listen to you. You want them to be motivated by integrity of your word. Your word standing true. We're motivated to listen to God, not so much because of the fear. Yes, we fear his wrath, but that's not what's actually motivating us. What's actually motivating us is the fact that his integrity is unmatched. When he says something, it happens like that. So that's how your children need to be raised. Your children need to see that when you say something, it's going to happen that way. But did we learn how to do that? We don't even learn the science of child rearing, right? Because what do we always tell our children? You better do what Master told you to do, right? Remember Roots, Lawrence Hilton Jacobs? He was bucking against everything, right? He was like, I'm going to get out of here, man. This ain't no life for me. Everybody telling him, ooh, you better leave Master alone. You better leave Master alone. What ended up happening to him? I'm just telling the truth, man. So we never learned how to teach our children. Only thing we taught our children was, see that guy over there? See that guy, that white guy over there? When you see him do something, you need to respect that. You need to respect that, man. If our women don't teach our children to respect us the most, then they teach them how to respect the Caucasian. Just the way it is, man. Just the way it is. Now, is that healthy? Is that healthy? Do you ever see the Caucasian teaching their children to respect anyone else above them? Yeah, they say, they got a black person on their street. They say, yeah, that's Mr. Jones. You respect Mr. Jones. But they don't say, don't ask me. Go down the street and ask Mr. Jones. He knows how to read. They don't say that. But that's what we were doing. We would take this paper to Mr. and see if he can tell us what it say. Right? We don't know. Because we don't know. We don't know. And we put all our faith in them. That's where we coming to. That's what we're coming to. So now we got our own communities now, right? Why do we have the black community? How did the black community even come into existence? The black community came into existence the same way the black church came into existence. White people did not want you in the white church. That's why they gave you the black church. They told you, no, go to the black church. Yeah, you got a black preacher, go there. As long as you act right and you can call yourself a Christian, go to the black church. Right? Same thing for black, the HBCUs. White people did not want you in their colleges. So they said, hey, we'll set aside some money so that you can have your own places to go. Because we don't want to compete with you. We know that if you get a good running start, you guys are going to be very competitive. We don't want that. Anybody who can survive 400 years of hard labor like that, if you get a chance at learning about business, learning about child rearing, learning about mating, learning about respect, you're gonna fly out the handle. So they want you at the black schools. At least at the black school, you still could say, well, at least they gave us money. They gave us money to do this, right? But they wasn't teaching you anything that like now. Like now they teaching real courses, but back then they wasn't teaching you law and they had to come up to that. Just talking truth. So now you got a chance, you can actually go to college. You can actually have your own families and go to college, right? So you can go to college and you can have your own families. What's the problem? How come if you can get an education, right? Right? Because the people said, hey, the Caucasian society said, hey, if you want to go to school, cool. You just can't go to school with our children, right? They was even telling their children they're going to catch some type of disease or have some kind of issue. But really, with the main thing, it was a social thing. They really didn't want to socialize with black students. Okay, I mean, everybody got their thing, man. I'm not, everybody's got their thing. So what did they do? They came up with segregation, not separation, segregation. What's the difference between segregation and separation? The segregation is when you say everything's going to be equal, but it's not equal. You don't got the same courses here as you got over here, right? Like the lady told Malcolm. Malcolm said, I want to be a doctor or a lawyer. They said, a doctor or a lawyer? Who going to go to you? You black. Ain't nobody going to go to you as a lawyer or a doctor. But you know what? You make a fine carpenter, right? I mean, that's what they was doing to us. If you ain't got thick enough skin to go walk through it, you'd be like, yeah, you're right. I should be just a carpenter. And there ain't nothing wrong with being a carpenter. But if I want to do something else, why tell me I can't do something else? That's the thing, right? But it was encourage us, keep us away from jobs that gave us our own destiny or had us in the middle, had us actively really engulfed in the economy of a certain part of the world, right? I know I'm trying to teach, so I'm almost there, y'all. I'm almost there. Hang on. So if you got all this access to education, you got all this access to, church, you got all this access to praying, you got all this access to your own schools and everything, right? You had to live in a black community because white people didn't want you in a white community. They want you in a black community. Because why? White people lose their status points when black people are living with them, typically speaking. Typically. I'm not saying it's everywhere. I live in California. It's typically not like that in California. But I've been places, Chicago, Detroit. I've been places where it's like that, right? Especially on the East Coast. A lot of those on the East Coast, on the sea line. Really like that, right? Even in Chicago, man. I was in Chicago, like I said, I walked to a restaurant and literally, all the white people was on one side of the restaurant and everybody else is on the other side of the restaurant. Being from California, I had never seen anything like that. I had never seen anything like that. And I was like, why is it like that? Not that I was, you know, I got to sit with these white people. It was nothing like that, but it was just, I had never seen that dynamic before. And I was just trying to figure out what's making that happen like that. Because I didn't hear nobody request that situation. It seemed like the staff already knew that's how it's supposed to be. And everybody was just eating like it was no big deal. Or they didn't notice it like I noticed it, right? So yeah, it's places like that. But for the most part, you got an opportunity to do whatever you want, right? You even went and faced dogs so that you could go to the bathroom with white people. You faced dogs so you could eat at a lunch counter with white people. You put your bus companies, your black bus companies out of you put your black bus companies out of business. You put your black supermarkets out of business because you want to go to the supermarket with white people. You put your black supermarkets out of business. You put your black taxi cab companies out of business because you want to sit in a taxi cab with white people, right? You didn't want to let the market just decide. You just said, hey, I want to, because I'm good as them. You felt like if you ride in a cab with them, then you're just as good as them. See, that's trauma, man. That's trauma that we haven't got over, right? We put all our businesses, we had bustling black businesses. Remember Black Wall Street? Bustling businesses. Why? Our businesses was bustling because white people wouldn't even take our money. They wouldn't even take our money. Then when they saw what we was doing with our little nickels and dimes, we were building these big businesses. They said, hey, wait a minute. Y'all got to buy ice from us. What? Yeah, you guys got to buy ice from us. They started muscling in on our businesses. And then eventually they just started saying, they said, we got to integrate because if they could do that much with those nickels and dimes, they could be bringing that money over here. Right? It is what it is. They realize they losing a bunch of money playing that racism game. Especially, let me tell you, boy, the global market does not play the racism game. It plays the classism game, but it never plays the racism game. It's just too much money that needs to be moved. Brother Rashawn, hey, their ice was colder. Yeah, that's an old black people joke. The white man's ice is colder. Yeah, but see, it's all about status. See, our people think they're getting more status by doing things that they see a white person doing it. If I see a white person on a jet ski, then I want a jet ski because that person got status if they can afford a jet ski, and if I can afford a jet ski, and that mentality is killing us. They call it keeping up with the Joneses. That mentality is killing us. When before we wasn't doing that. Well, why? Because white people wasn't even letting us go in their stores. We had to buy stuff from our own stores, and those prices was nothing like there was in the white stores. And we was able to have nice things, hand sewn, handmade things. We was able to have those things without paying an arm and a leg for everything. But integration killed all of our business. We fought to kill our businesses. We didn't see it that way, right? Because Martin Luther King told us if we integrate, things are going to get better because they was telling him a bunch of different lies, right? Oh, we're going to do this, or we're going to do that, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And they didn't do none of it. The last straw was when they took the money that they were supposed to invest into the communities, the black communities, they took it and put it onto the Vietnam War. They put it into the Vietnam War. That's when Martin Luther King started speaking out against the Vietnam War. And we all know what happened to him after that. I don't think he lasted 2 months after that. Anyway, now you're at the 60s. You can go to school. You can go, either gender. You can go to school, you can learn, you can do whatever. Still, now we got our communities are toe up. They toast. They toast. What's going on? What's going on? We toast, but at least we still had a good family structure. Maybe we wasn't doing so good on the business side as a group, but as a group on the marriage side, we was doing good. Wait, hold on. Now let's look at some stats. Because see, I don't like to just talk, right? This is blackdemographics.com. They get all of this census data from the Census Bureau, right? Okay, so as we can see, the biggest group that is independent is married couples at 27%, right? This is black households. Women living alone, almost the same number, 21% women living alone. Kevin Samuels is wrong. Is he? Is he? 21%. Mother with no partner, 18%. Mother with no partner, 18%. So that means what? This is 39% of black people, black women, right? 39% of black people is these black women living by themselves. Is that a problem? That definitely wasn't like that back in the 30s, the 60s, and the 40s and 50s. 17% men living alone, 17%. Cohabitating couple, 6%. Father no partner, 2%. Other 9%, right? So we see the biggest demographic is black married couples, right? Biggest single demographic. But if you put single moms plus women living by themselves, that is the biggest group. That's the biggest demographic, which is 39%. Now I'm gonna come back to this. But see, that's what I'm saying. I don't like to just be saying, oh, I don't put it. See, I put out numbers. I use the stats. I put out the stats so that we can discuss the stats. Now, you see the shift in single women and the shift in the black community and the condition of the black community. As single women, the number of single moms rises, the condition of the black community worsens. Now, how come that has happened? I would like to invite some of y'all to come on and talk to me about it. Let's talk about it. Here's the link. Y'all come on, talk about it. Let's talk about it. Why is black people? I'll tell you what, let's look at some more stats. Let's look at some more stats. 25 up attended college. 50% of men attended college. 59% of women, black women, attend college. Bachelor's degree and higher. 19% of men, 24% in women. Earnings and employment. Percent who are in the labor force. 69% of men in the labor force. 72% of women in the labor force. Percent of the labor force who are employed. 89% of men, 92% of women. Below the poverty level. 21% of men, 24% of women. Ay. Median earnings full time, $41,054 for men, $36,695 for women. $50,000 or more earnings, 33% of men, 26% of women. These are all black women, right? This is population. Slavery ended. Let's get back to that. We can get back to that. Okay, we'll get back to all of this stuff. You see for yourself. Let me catch up on some chats here. Brother Rashawn, hit the like button. Thank you, Brother Rashawn. Appreciate you. If you like what we're talking about, hit the like button. Sister Don, hey, Brother Clarence, friend. Hey, Sister Don, how you doing? So let's get back to talking about it. What do y'all think? I put the link out there. What do y'all think about who's responsible? Is it black women? Black women got the right to vote. Black women got, they got baby murder was made legal. All of these different things that they can stop a pregnancy. They're the most freest, sexually expressive women in history. There is no other women in history that have had so much freedom as black women. That black women have so much freedoms, they brag about it. They brag about their promiscuity. You go look at Nicki Minaj's songs or Doja Cat or what's the other chick, Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B. They actually have songs that brag about their promiscuity. I know it's something that it's hard to imagine because you don't see no other woman doing that. But because they're in that situation mentally, is it their fault? Is it the black women's fault that the black community is so in a situation it's in? I'm gonna suggest to you, friends, that brothers and sisters, that it's not the black woman alone. The black woman is being mentally altered by the radio waves around her. She's on a frequency of the Eurocentric society around her. If that makes sense. What you mean, Brother Clarence? What you mean? I mean that if you look at somebody and they have someone else's hair in their head, it's like me, man. They got somebody else's hair in their head, and they think they look better than they normally would look because they got someone else's hair in their head. There's got to be something going on upstairs, right? Like me, I walk around. Let's say I could go surgically and I could put a white man's buff arms on both arms, and I was walking around with a white man's arms. People would look at me and say, what's wrong with you, brother? What you doing? What's the matter with you? Do you know you got white man's arms? But do we do that to black women? No. You know you got white women's hair in your head? Or Indian women's hair in your head? You don't think that looks strange? I, the black man who have loved you since the beginning of time, I think you look better without all of that. But something's wrong. Our sisters feel like, hey, I don't look good enough unless I got somebody else's stuff in my hair. Does that make sense? Now, here's the biggest question. Why? Why do they think that? Why do our sisters think that, man? Is it because we as black men, we telling them, hey, you don't look good. Go find a white woman, snatch her hair out, and put it in your head. Is that what we doing? Is that what we doing? I don't think we doing that. Brother Rashan, does the same principle apply to men wearing Eurocentric clothing styles, suits? We are speaking someone else's language. Yes and no. I'll say it like that, like Brother Jarvis. Yes and no. A suit you could take off. A suit you could take off. When we're here, we're wearing the clothes. That's here. So, brother, I would say if you was in the North Pole, brother, and all they had was European-made jackets, I'm not gonna tell you, hey, don't wear no jacket because the Europeans made it. That's a different situation. I'm talking about you aesthetically saying to yourself, I do not look good unless I dress or I got this added to my physical being. You understand what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. If the women looked at it that way, maybe they would say, because they're beautiful. Black women are beautiful. Have you ever, anybody, have you ever seen any woman more beautiful than a black woman? I'll wait. I don't care if she's other. I don't care if she weighs other than herself. I don't care if she's has 10 children or whatever. Have you ever seen anything more beautiful than a black woman? None of us have. Oh no, brother, we don't allow no trolling in here. Anton is short and fat. I hear what you're saying, brother, but we don't allow that up in here, man. You have to take that back over to the Kings or or back over to the mothership. You know what I mean? We don't allow no trolling up in here, man. Let's see. We got another comment here. The Redux Life. While women are responsible for their own actions, I do think they're a strong influence that pushed this, of course. By and large, men prefer long, straight hair. Natural hair is relatively new phenomenon. No, sir, brother. No. We don't. Most of us don't prefer long, straight hair. Not unless it's your own. If it's your own, we can deal with it. But if it's not your own, that's where we have a problem. I get what you're saying, but we want to deal with women that have their own stuff, even if it's curly, even if they have a bald head like me. The only woman that looks good because she got that long regal neck, like a god is supposed to have, right? She got that long regal neck. Even if she weigh other than herself, you can see it in her. She can still pull herself back together, right? Right? But this whole society keep telling her, hey, you don't look good. You got to go get this. You got to attach this to your hair. You got to attach that to your back of your neck. You got to attach this to your eyes. You got to attach this to your neck. You got to attach all this stuff. Let's see. JP. Oh, okay. That was for Sean. I agree, Brother Clarence. Yes, Sister Don. That's how I feel about it, at least anyway. Brother Sean. I get the point you are going for, Brother Clarence. I'll fall back, but I disagree. No, brother, don't fall back. Challenge me all day. This ain't the mothership. I don't want people just to come up here and agree with me. That's why why I have Brother Jarvis, man. We have fought so much, man. But I know him. He knows me. I know he's not going to just agree with me unless he really feels that way. If he don't, he's not going to agree with me, and I'm not going to agree with him. That's why I like him on the show. I don't want people just to say, especially if you feel that way sincerely. You sincerely don't agree with me. Come on up, brother. I put the link out there. Cam up, or you can be an avatar, right? This ain't the mothership. We'll let you be an avatar. But if you want to fall back, brother, I understand. But don't fall back because of me, man. You ain't gonna hurt my feelings at all, brother. I appreciate being challenged. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Oh, the Redux Life. I'm a woman. Cool. Okay, glad to have you, sis. Sometimes you don't have a picture. I won't know. You know what I mean? I won't know how to address you. I try to address everybody as brother and sister. In this space here. JP. I've been on this planet 46 years and never met a man who asked me to put on a weave. Yeah, no, I mean, they just don't. And I think it's the society that puts that competitive thing in there. Yeah, man, I've never asked for that. And people do what they want to do in their bedroom. But when you come out of your bedroom, you come into the street, I think you at your best when you at your most natural state and you don't have a bunch of stuff that's destroying your skin, destroying your eyelids, all this crazy stuff. Brother Anton is fat, short and fat. Come on, brother. You got to get a new name. Peace, Brother Clarence. I'm out. I enjoy your content, though. Okay, right on, man. Right on. Please, please, we not trying to play no games like that here, man. Appreciate you, though, brother. For respecting us for that. That's that JP. So that's down there. Just JP. At Anton JP at Anton short and fat. Why not stay and attempt to not to troll? Because JP, I just told him this ain't the place to do that. This ain't the place. I saw his other message and I didn't put it up there, but this ain't the place to do it. He respectfully, said, I respect you, Brother Clarence. I'm not gonna do it here. I appreciate that. Because if you troll here, you're gonna get. I'm gonna run through you like a hot knife. So you don't want to do that here. You don't want to do that here. Let me see. That was for the Redux Life. Brother Rashawn, respect you too, brother. You know what I'm saying? But don't think you're gonna you're gonna hurt my feelings challenging me, brother. Come on with it. Because you never know, I may submit if you come with a higher knowledge, brother. Energy never lies. The weave wigs are what's causing that. I got to agree with that. Not really taking care of it. Well, brother, it's like steroids. See, when you do steroids, you have to cycle it, because if you keep using steroids and you don't cycle it, you just keep using it year after year, month after month. What happens is you start shutting down your organs. It's the same thing with the weave, man. You leave a weave in for years and months and months and months. What it'll do is pull the natural root out. See, the roots will keep growing, but when they attach it to the roots to keep it in there, and then it stays in there, and then you sleep and turn it on it and this and that, you end up pulling the roots out. That's what happened to Naomi Campbell. Go check her out. It was an ugly situation. Hairline all the way back here, man. It was an ugly situation. JP. Ease, false confidence, proof of status are reasons women put all these things, not men. Well, but JP, if you ask them, they'll tell you it's us requesting it. That's the thing. They'll say, oh, well, you guys, that's what you guys like. No, not most of us. Yeah, there's some guys that's always going to roll like that. Just like it's going to be some guys, I don't care how good a black woman treat them, they're going to want white women. That's just how they are. So we can't say, oh, well, but we can't say every man is like that. That's the 0.0001%, right? But a lot of times the sisterhood don't look at it that way, JP. Not at all. Sister G, I disagree. Back in the day, Afro's braid, Afro puffs were the only hairstyles blacks wore. Yeah, Sister G, but the sisterhood don't want to do that today. I don't think they feel like that's. I feel like they're not going to get the attention they want, the attention they're seeking now, which is so easy for them to get. They don't have to have it anymore. They don't have to. They don't put their hair up like that anymore. Brother Scort. Hold on, I got a phone call. Brother Scort. Good night, Brother Clarence. I'm listening. Just so live, great show, much needed to be heard. Hey, thank you, Brother Scort, man. Enjoy your evening, man. Give me a drive-by light, brother. That's all I'm asking for, man. Let's see, Brother D. I believe if black women thought black men desired women with a flower pot on her head, women would be trying to find the most times flower pot to wear. Can out the flower pot. The next one. You're right, Brother D, man. You know what I'm saying? But see, it's not all their fault. That's the point I'm getting at, man. It's not all the women's fault. It's their fault for falling for it, but they have a natural tendency to want attention from men because they want the attention of the best male. They want attention of the best male, so they have a natural tendency to always try to get more and more attention from more and more males, because in her mind, the more attention I get from the more males, there's going to be one or two in there that's going to be at the highest level. And if I can get him to look at me and get with me, then I'll have the best chance of having the strongest surviving young. And that's just a natural instinct in her head, right? But it's being played out. It's being used against them, right? The hypergamous situation being used against them, brother. Okay. Energy never lies, exactly. Chemicals and all. Exactly. JP. It's the chemicals, the adding of weave, the covering of that which is naturally yours. That's the issue. Well, that's the issue too, JP. But the main issue is the weed pulls out. It pulls out the root of the head, and once that root is out, nothing's going to grow there again. Like I said, you guys want to see something really bizarre, go look up Naomi Campbell's situation. It is really bizarre situation. Oh yeah, I caught this one already, brother. Scorp. Let's see. At JP. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. Scorp. JP. If you find this topic interesting or useful, share the YouTube page with the community. Let this conversation keep growing. Keep your spirit up. See you in the streams. Thank you, JP. Have a good evening. Appreciate you for stopping by as always. Rashawn, Brother Rashawn, I somewhat disagree. Almost all women know male attention is free. Brother, male attention is not free. I don't think their styling choices are for us. Well, let me break this down for you real quick, Brother Rashawn. Male attention is not free, not for the sisterhood. No, it's not. What it happens is it's free when it's one-on-one. When they're the only female in the room and there's 5 guys in there, yeah, that male attention is free. But when they have to compete with other women, that's when it becomes an issue. So they do all these different things to compete with the next woman in line. So that's the issue. It's not us. They're not doing it for us in particular. It's to outperform the next female, right? If all the females have black hair, if I come in there and I have blonde hair, then I'll outperform the rest of them, right? So the other ones go back and 2 or 3 or more come back with blonde hair. Then one will say that ain't good enough. They come back with purple streaks in their hair. Then a couple other ones come back with purple streaks in their hair. Then the other ones will come. Then some of the other ones come back with eyelashes, elephant eyelashes, right? And then they're not gonna say so. You know, other ones will come back with mascara, right? And then some of them will come with their toes painted, right? And then the other ones come with their fingernails painted, right? And so I mean, they're just trying to outperform the other person, right? Basically, you know, just trying to outperform the other person so that they can get the attention. Because, like I said, like you said, attention for male attention is free when it's one-on-one. But when the numbers of females start increasing, now they have to outperform each other, and that's where this whole wigs and weaves and all this other stuff gets into the mix, because they're out here trying to outperform each other. That's my opinion, Brother Arshawn. Brother Arshawn, I hear what you're saying, and the behavior I agree with. I disagree with your diagnosis of the intent. It is competing, but not for our benefit. No. I'm not saying it's for our benefit, brother. It's for their benefit. They have a hypergamous mind, brother. Their mind is, I want to get the best male available to bear my children. That is the, remember RoboCop? That is, you know, Directive 1, Directive 2, Directive 3, Directive 4. Directive 4 is classified, right? That's the classified directive back there. They can't even admit it to themselves. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get the best male to mate with the best male so that their children can survive. That is a natural female instinct. That's natural. That's natural. We not. So I'm not saying they're doing it for our benefit. They're not doing none of that for our benefit. They will tell you they're doing it for our benefit, but it's really a hypergamous situation, in my opinion, brother. But if you got some, you disagree with something else, I say, man, come on with it, man. Come on with it. We just talking. We just talking, family, right? We just talking. This ain't the mothership. I'm not gonna scream at nobody or disrespect somebody or call somebody out their name or, you know, talk about you. You know, I'm not gonna do all that, right? This is a safe place to talk about black issues, right? Y'all could drive the bus, or y'all let me drive the bus. I'll drive it. But if y'all want to talk about something else, we'll switch it to something else. JP, I would not concede most. I would concede some, because this was costly, timely, and dangerous. Like I said, I'm not saying that all women think this way, JP. What I'm saying is You're right. A lot of them do. A lot of them do, and enough of them do think this way that it's causing an issue. Let me put it like that, right? They cause such an issue that the women that check this out. Hold on to your seat because I'm about to really drop a bomb on y'all. Hold on. The women that's doing all of the wigs and the weaves and everything, they're creating such an issue that it makes the women that don't do that look like they ain't trying to get a man. Dig that. Dig that. Now it might be a woman. She got a natural hair. She just doing her thing. She going to school. She doing her thing. She just trying to be a good person, right? Men ain't even looking at her because these other women are doing so much more. They putting so much more on it that they ain't even looking at her. They ain't even looking at her. So she falls through the cracks. And what does she do? Nothing. She had a natural hair. She had a natural vibe. She had a natural everything. But the men ain't looking at her because men look at her like, man, she ain't even trying. This girl is trying. And let me say it for those of y'all that may not want to hear it, but I'm going to tell it to you anyway. Men look at behavior like that as a person that's easier to have sex with. You understand? Do you understand? They look at women that will take risks like that for their aesthetics, aesthetic risks like that for their health, for just the aesthetics. Men say, man, if she's willing to do that to risk her health just for her aesthetics, she's probably willing to have, it's probably easier for me to get her in the bed. And that's why men chase women like that. It's not because they appreciate the look or anything like that. It's just that they figure this person's going to be easier to get in bed because they're willing to take this kind of risk. It's just like a woman you see smoking. You say to yourself, man, if she smokes, it's going to be easy. If she's willing to risk her health just to smoke, she's willing to participate in risky behavior like that, she's probably easier to get in the bed. Or you see a single mother. If she has all these children, she's probably easier to get in bed than somebody who has no children. Because somebody with no children is probably going to say, whoa, wait a minute. I'm trying to get some stuff done here. Not like a single mom won't, but the single mom has already made the decision that, hey, you know what, I'm willing to risk it all for this roll in the hay, whereas a woman that probably doesn't have all those children probably might not be willing to risk it, right? Come on, y'all, let me catch up. Thank you, Scorp. We need more people watching this content and less minutes. Yeah, thank you, JP. Let me see him go to stuff. Brother R, I'm willing to concede that I'm not out here in these streets. I'm out in touch though. Got you, brother R. Hey, whatever you can do for us, man. We appreciate you, brother. Brother R. But I know women that with dudes that had surgery, it wasn't for him. It was to attract him. That's what I'm saying, brother. That's what I'm saying. They're doing all this stuff to attract the best male on the table, brother. It's a hypergamous situation. It's what they don't even realize they're doing that for that reason. It's the scientists of the mascara and the scientists of the hair weave. They market it to them because they notice science of hypergamy, and they make them compete against each other to get the male. They know they're gonna compete anyway to get the males. They just giving them, it's like the U.S. government and Iran-Contra, where Oliver North was selling one set of guns to the Russians and another set of guns to the Afghans and another set of guns to the Russians. And they know what they're doing. They selling on both sides. They already know they got conflict and they're gonna get guns anyway. They just say, we'll sell them to you. Long as they're like 5-generation-old weapons from America, they know that you can't come over to America and use that weapon and win, because we got a weapon that's 5 generations advanced from that. So anything we give you, it's going to be at least 5 generations behind. But I'm talking out my neck again, right? I'm talking out my neck again. But yeah, brother Arshawn, it was to attract him. That's what I'm saying. It's to attract you. If you watch the Discovery Channel or you watching these animal channels, you see these females, man. They always want to mate with the best male possible, right? The biggest, strongest, with the most access to resource, the biggest one that can protect her during the mating process. They usually want that male, right? It's a hypergamous. So these scientists of the weave and the scientists of the wigs and all of that, all of this beauty stuff that black women don't need, they give them this weaponry so that they can go out and compete in this under this hypergamous thinking process, right? That's all that's happening, brother. But I appreciate your pushback because I love pushback. Sister G, we need to go back to naturally beautiful selves. No other can compare or compete with black excellence. Man, let me tell you something. When you see the black woman in her natural state, man, it's nothing like that. When you hear her voice, you see her smile. The black woman's smile it'll stop arrows, right? She's not herself at this point, but we trying to get her back. Well, some of y'all are. But I mean, on a mass scale, no. Why? Because we've been taught that unruliness is attractive to men, and it's not. Not to good men, at least. Brother Arshawn, I hear you at Redux. And there are probably women doing it for different reasons. No demographic is a monolith. Yeah, nothing is a monolith. JP, self-harm over self-identity. Well, see, JP, like I said, it's the classified directive that they don't even know it. It's like, remember RoboCop? He could see directive 1 through 3, but directive 4, he had to act on it, but he couldn't see what it was. But he was already programmed to act on that directive, so he couldn't never pull it up and see what it was. But he found out at the end what the directive is. But I mean, he couldn't pull it up and look at it and say, oh, okay, I'm making sure I'm doing this directive, because they had already programmed him to follow that directive, whether he looked at it or not. That's the black woman. She's already programmed in her head to get the best male possible. And how do I get the best male possible? I got to get the most male attention. How do I get the most male attention? I gotta be in front of a lot of males. Well, if I'm in front of a lot of males, how am I going to get the most attention in front of a lot of males? Well, I got to stand out among the other females. Well, how do I stand out among the other females? Well, I got to have all these extra bells and whistles on me so that I can stand out in front of these females. You see what I'm saying? You see how far the rabbit hole goes? Now, who's in charge of that? Now, we as black men, we stood up and said, hey, now, that's what I think we ought to do. I think we ought to just stand up and say, hey, sister, you don't need that. You don't need that. You can just come outside and come with your natural hair. Just like the sisters in the 70s who was going to work with big old afros, right? I think we can do it. I just don't think the sisters feel that they look good enough. I think they have such complexes about not being able to get a man interested in them that they don't want to at least explore that option. That's my feelings on it. Brother Scorp, weave is making someone else rich. Oh man, Brother Scorp, you have no idea. It's $1 billion industry. While black women may have some alopecia due to excessive weaving. Not only that, brother, if you ever, I've never been with somebody with that weave situation going on, thank God. But if you ever have been with somebody with the weave situation, I've heard brothers talk about how the smell is just unbearable if you're with somebody sexually and you have to deal with that smell, man. It's really bad. It's really bad. Plus, How do you know that stuff is clean? How do you know that stuff is clean? How do they clean that hair? How do you know? Where does it come from? How does it get there? And how does it get to your front door? How does it get to where somebody is putting it in your hair? See, we don't know none of that. We don't know none of these steps. It's just abracadabra, right? uh, let's see. Brother D, preach, brother. My queen is the queen of all queens, and from this day on, right? You hear what I'm saying, Brother D, huh? You look at Sister G, and what do you see? You see that 20-year-old girl. I don't care what she looked like, right? You see that 20-year-old girl. It's like I see my wife. My wife don't weigh what she weighed before she had all three of our boys. But I still see that 20-year-old girl that I fell in love with, or 22 or whatever, I fell in love with, right? She don't need none of that stuff. I mean, she could do it if she want to, but I encourage her not to. It depends on what a man likes. But I believe most men don't want that stuff. I don't. But I can't say every man is like me. I believe most men would rather you would be in your natural state. The only ones that want you all looking crazy like that is people that's living crazy lifestyles, like rappers and ball players and stuff like that. They're the ones that want you looking crazy like that. Regular brothers and sisters, man, like the rest of us with our boots on the ground, what do we need that for? And what do we need to be walking with you and you get that kind of attention because you got hair down to your ankles? Or, what do we need that? What do we need now? Somebody gonna say something to you, maybe just say something to you disrespectful. What if you're a dude like Brother D? You got a big old weapon on you, man. You know what I'm saying? Discharge a weapon, man. You blow a dude into 50 million pieces, right? You know what I'm saying? Is it worth it? Is it worth it? It's not worth it, in my opinion. Sister Redux, Chris Rock's documentary here talks about where the hair weaves come from. It's crazy. And then when you see it, it should at least give women pause to say, do I really need this? Yes. Yes. But how do we get women off the weaves? How do we get them off the weaves? See, that's the thing. We know where most of us that got sense, we know that is not a healthy situation to do. It pretty much is not. The better thing to do is, if you're going to do the weave situation, cycle it. That's the best way to do it, if you're going to cycle it. That way you won't pull the root of your hair all the way out. But those weaves do that, and that's unfortunate. And we're going to see this stuff on the back end. We're going to see these women who have to wear wigs. Not wearing wigs because they want to wear wigs. They're wearing wigs because they have to wear wigs because they pulled all their roots out with all those weaves when they were younger. Unfortunately. And if y'all think I'm kidding, go and look up the Naomi Campbell situation. If I knew we were going to talk about this weave situation, I'd have had that up here. That is an ugly situation. Ugly, ugly. Hair starts way back. Hairline way back here. Nothing up here. Hairline's way back here. And they got to sew stuff on, sew like a wig, and flip it up here. It's just bad. It's just bad. Anyway, let's get back to our story. So, who's going to tell black women they don't need wigs? Well, is the Caucasian going to tell them? No. Is the Asian going to tell them? The Asian making $2 or $3 billion a year off of black women buying weave hair. They got the industry sold up. If you want to open up a hair place, who can you get this stuff from? You got to go to the Korean to get it. They got the market sold up. Black women could literally rush that industry today. If black women said, we're not buying no more beauty products from nobody except black people, the Koreans would go out of business overnight. And not like saying like you trying to put them out of business, but they would have to come to the table and readjust their business model. Because there's no way they would be able to stay in business without black women going in and buying all of that stuff. Brother Arshawn, we can just get them off by talking they'd be done with it. Imagine if we just showed them genuine love for who they are and not just sex objects. I wonder if self-image would change. Well, brother, see, that's the problem. That is the big problem. That's why I throw it on the men. It's the men. See, we are the like this. The men, those of us that are the most able-bodied and ones that really are trying to do a lot. We're not making a stand. We're not drawing a line in the sand saying, we're not doing this no more. We're not putting up with this. If you're going to weave it up, then you're going to have to be with the white boys or our Latino brothers or the Asians. You're going to have to go be with them. We are not going to accept this behavior anymore. But because some of us, so many of us, think that we need to have sex for so many people that we don't want to ruin their chances of having sex. So we accept this below standard behavior. It's bad, man. It's bad. Brother Scorp, just imagine most black women just stop wearing weave and boycott. That's what I'm saying, Brother Scorp. If they just, but they're not going to do it because they want to compete with each other. We have to be the ones that enforce that from them and say, hey, we're gonna give you our back. If you keep doing that, we're gonna give you our backs. We only showed love. Imagine if we just showed love to the women that just wore their natural hair. We ignored the women who have weaves in their head. We ignored them. Now I know there's people with cancer and all that stuff. See, so I'm not talking about that situation because there are some of our sisters, man. They have illnesses, and that's why they have wigs on because they have illnesses that have driven them into that situation. So trust me, I'm trying to be sensitive to that. I'm not trying to be insensitive to that situation. We're talking about the most of our sisters, the younger ones that are in good health. They're just doing it just to get the attention from men. Anyway, the weave industry would go broke. Brother, let me tell you something, man. The Koreans would come knocking on our door saying, hey, what can we do to fix this situation? Oh, do we need to give $1 billion to your schools? Oh, we need to do this. We need to do that. They would be in a whole nother, they would approach the situation a whole nother way. Now you can go in the stores a lot of times and not get treated right. And you still go in the store the next week. And then we get mad at them. We get mad at the Asians. Asians just doing they're just doing business. It's not even their fault. It's us continuing to do business with people that are locking us out of the industry. It's us. At least when white people locked us out of the financial industry, we was able to connect with our brothers in Africa and start building our own financial district. We won't even do that today. Crazy, crazy. The weave industry would go broke. We have the power to invest in our community. We do. But Brother Scorp, we just don't see it that way. This is why I'm coming around to the men. I'm coming around to the men. You see how the men are so vital. If we would just, brother, if we would just look at people with weaves and say, hey, you're not my wife, therefore I don't have to entertain your condition or see what's going on with you. If you have a weave, I'm just not interested, period. The end. We turned our backs on those women because most of them are getting attention from us. They're not getting attention from rappers and singers and all that. They're not getting attention from them. Most of them are getting attention from us. We're the ones putting up with that behavior. If we was to stop it, we would say, hey, you're not getting our attention anymore. Not doing that. Go ahead and be an IG model. You're just going to have to, but there's too many of us hungry for sex. We're too many sex-minded, so we'll put up with that behavior because we think we're going to get rewarded with sex. Sister J, for the woman, that's it. Not too late for essential oils, hair masks from plant seed ingredients, not damaged chemicals. Well, come on, Sister G. Start your business. Put it out here because our sisters need it. We need it. Put you a website together and put your link up here, Sister G. Stop playing. Brother R, Sean, they have the market soda. Absolutely. I see what you just there. Sew in, sewed up. Well, man, it's like they got it. No pun was intended, but they do have it sold up. They do have it sold up. But why? Why, brother? See, it's an extended thing. It's us as the men. We're not holding the women to a standard by which we can control our economic destiny, right? We got these women giving the Asians billions of dollars, and then we blame the Asian because we made the Asian rich, and the Asian taking all that bags of money out of our community and leaving our community busted, and we mad at the Asian. When we walked into his store and gave him the money, he ain't got to hold a gun to your head. Hey, everybody in this building, come on down and come to my store. He ain't hold no gun to none of us. But here we are, we going in there, with the Asians, spending all our money, billions of dollars, the sisters. And if you ask them, well, this is what you guys want. It's not what we want. We putting up with it. Sisters, let me tell you something. I know you guys think, oh man, you guys really want that. No, we don't. We putting up with it because for the fear that you won't have sex with us. It's a fear of you not having. If we tell you that we don't want that, we scared you're not gonna have sex with us. That's most of us. We need to just make a hard line and say we're not gonna put up with it no more. Let's see. JP, they have to love themselves first, fellas. A lot of our sisters, JP, like Sister G told me, a lot of our sisters have a lot of issues. 75%, I found this stat, 75% of black women, females, have had some type of sex, misconduct happen to them in their lifetime at one point or another. You think that's enough to mess somebody up? I do. They do have to love themselves, but sometimes some of our sisters think that getting somebody else to love them, I'm going to love myself after you love me. If you love me, then I love me. They don't feel worthy enough to be loved by themselves. They just don't. So they feel like they got to put on all of this weave and eyelashes and they got to do all this to get the love of a decent man. What they're really looking for is God. They're really looking for God. But they're looking for God, like the Bible said, in a well-made man. In a well-made man. And they don't think they're worthy of God because they've been violated. So they say, if I can get God to love me, then I love me. I'm worthy of, if God shows me that I'm worthy of love, then I'm worthy of love. But you're already worthy of love. You just don't know it. But see, God ain't telling you that because the God you looking at right now, he out of his mind. He's a sleeping giant. He don't know he's God. He thinks he's a nigga. So he calls himself a nigga. He thinks he's a dog, so he calls himself a dog. What's up, dog? What's up, dog? Right? What's up, big dog? He don't know he's God. Right? The uncle of W.D. Muhammad is in North America, and he does not know he's my uncle. He don't know who he is. He's been hit on the head and left on the side of the road for dead, right? Like in the Bible, the Good Samaritan. Let me not go into that story. Let me finish these chats, y'all. I'm gonna let me finish this. Brother Arshawn, it is JP. I haven't met the human yet that changed internally because someone preached to them. No. Well, our people are not going to change because they have all this negative energy around them. Unfortunately, this society, the greater Eurocentric society, keeps a constant energy of negativity around us. It includes demons, includes negative images, it includes negative vibes, it includes disrespect, it includes judgment of your peers. It includes everything that makes people not get along. Um, yeah, it's a pretty ugly situation. Who y'all doing for? I gotta catch up. Okay, JP, you can't accept love until you know it and give it. Yeah, but how can we know it and give it? How can we know it and give it? Our people need to know what love is. Most of them don't know what love is. That's the problem. So what do? Do we write them off? Do we write the sisterhood off? We say, hey, you done, right? Jesus was teaching. Prostitute came. Prostitute came, and what did she do? She said, I'll be healed if I could just touch his garment, right? Peter and them was like, B, get out of here. You ain't gonna touch his garment. Get out of here. And Jesus said, let her come in, let her through. And she started crying. She started crying and she wiped his feet with her tears and her hair. Right? And what did he say? Go and sin no more. Right? Go and sin no more. But what was she doing? She didn't have no money. She didn't have nothing. She knew she felt like she wasn't worthy enough to even look the man in the face. That's how women. They don't even look worthy enough for a good dude. That's why they chasing these animals all over the place, because they don't even think they're worthy of a good dude because they've been violated. Talk back to me. Maybe I'm saying something crazy. Talk back to me. Maybe I'm saying something crazy, but our women have been violated so many times that they don't even feel worthy of a good man. When a good man come their way, they won't even give him the time of day because they don't feel worthy. I'll run around here thinking that they just stupid. They ain't following a good man because they stupid. No, they don't feel worthy of a good man. That's why they always chasing these animals around. Why? Because the animals ain't going to judge them. You put two monkeys in a cage together, they're going to just throw shit at each other. Neither one's going to say, hey, man, why are we throwing shit at each other? I don't know, man. They ain't going to judge each other. They're going to just poop and throw it at each other. Brother Clarence, you way crazy, man. You crazy. I know I'm crazy, man. I know I'm going way off. I'm going way off. Brother Arshawn, how can they know it and give it at JP? They never see it. That's correct. That's why we're trying to kill this single mother situation, Brother Arshawn. That's why we're trying to kill that. I'm saying showing love isn't it. Encouraging them to love self is. But JP, some of our sisters don't know how to love themselves. Just like that sister, just like that lady, right? She came to Jesus. The prostitute comes to Jesus and she wipes off his feet with her tears, right? Her tears in her hair. What changed? All the man did says, go and sin no more. What changed? There's no lightning bolt hit her. Bam! He was just somebody that she felt if he thinks enough of me to speak to me, then I must be worth something. But did anything change? Nothing really changed. He just encouraged her. He just gave her a word. Instead, basically telling her, you important enough to not be living this way. Don't do it again. Find your way out of it. Right? Can't be what you never see. That's true. That's why us as men, it comes back around to us as black men. We got to stay in the home. How can we stay in the home, Brother Clarence? They trying to divorce us. They trying to do this. You got to do whatever you got to do to stay in that house to make sure the children get what they need, man. Whatever it is on your battlefield that you need to do, you got to do it. The children are much more important than you. Arshawn, encouraging a drug addict to wellness works, right, at JP, or do they need treatment? Do need treatment, brother. Do need treatment. Here's the treatment. God's word. That's the medicine you need. You don't have that medicine, bro. how are you going to do anything? How are you going to do anything? That's the medicine you need to fix yourself. See, you in a environment of terror. Like Public Enemy said, welcome to the terror dome. You're in a terror dome. You need guidance to maneuver through this terror dome. Where do you get that guidance from? You're going to get that guidance from these holy books you got to study. And I'm not saying one in particular, but you get enough of a kind of a thinking process where you can kind of see the good from the bad, no matter what book you're reading from, right? Well, Arshawn, we need a treatment plan for our community. Encouragement and preaching isn't going to fix our issues. We know this, brother. If that was going to be the case, then, we would have been fixed. But what we need is a treatment plan. What's the treatment plan? The treatment plan is to treat black men. Get black men on the right page. Get them to accept responsibility for all these children they're making, for all these women that they're violating, and for all of the symptoms of the community that's bad. Get them to understand that falls on us as men. The sooner we clean up that situation, the women will follow like ducks following the mama duck. They'll follow right behind us. They ain't gonna have no choice. But as long as we out here giving what they do credence, the ones that's not doing what we ask, they're gonna continue. Why should they stop? Why should they stop? I'm gonna let you guys doing that in-house stuff deal with that. Arshawn, I do agree that we have to have positive reinforcement to people operating in a healthy way, but us men have to be healthy to accomplish that. Yeah, brother, but let me tell you something that you might not know. We are the direct descendant of God. We can will ourselves healthy if we're willing to let go of the demons. Most of us have demons, and we won't let go of those demons. Oh, brother Clarence, here you go. You talking spooky again. No, I'm not talking spooky. Ain't none of what I'm saying spooky. When I say a demon, I'm talking about a presence that goes, just like a virus is a presence. Virus goes into your body and goes right to work. A demon goes in your body. A demon is a being of electrical charges that goes into your brain to control the electrical charges in your body. That's what a demon does. And they have their highest performance, the demon's highest performance, when they create this anxiety, where you always got this anxiety going on. That's what they're trying to create. And how do they create this anxiety? Because they don't give your mind a safe place to rest from. We're just talking. So how do you accomplish that? How do you get men to accept their responsibility? Well, first you gotta clear yourself from negativity, because the demons are trying to control and build up negative charges in the brain. Just talking mathematics. We're just talking mathematics. They're trying to build up negative charges in the brain so that they can create this anxiety all the time. So you can never operate the way you should. Brother Art, why would they? Why would they what? I don't know. Brother Art, where we going with that one. JP, stop that. Just because you have been a victim doesn't mean you're meant to stay victimized. You get over that victimization by loving and knowing yourself. JP, that's the point. People don't know how to love themselves. They don't know how. They need to be shown. How can they be taught unless a teacher teach them? And how can a teacher teach them unless a teacher be sent? And how will they get and how will they accept the teaching of a teacher unless they recognize that teacher as the teacher? Our people don't recognize who's their teachers, right? They take bad teachers for good teachers, and they take good teachers for bad teachers. It's an ugly situation we in, man. KPP, good to see you, brother. K Business Podcast, hello, hello. JP, you can't get that if the community keeps giving you pity. Yeah, that's true. But that's why I try to tell other content creators, hey, man, you can't give a pass to one group of people and then not give a pass to another group of people. It's not about pitying our people. We're not trying to pity them. We're trying to hold them accountable, but we got to go to the men. The men are the most ones that we need to hold accountable. The men. The men. Pity is not empowering. I agree, JP. You can't get nowhere pitying. No, you got to move out. You got to move out, man. You can't do it. I'm so behind these chats. Kinky hair, black people hair defies gravity. Follow the sun, absorb water like a sponge. Once chemicals perm exact weaves invaded, take away the strength of our natural hair. Did you know that black people's hair is curly? It's naturally curly. It spins eastward, just like the earth. Yeah, I'm getting too deep for y'all. I'm getting too deep for y'all. Yeah, I'm getting too deep for y'all. But it spins eastward. It curls eastward like our planet turns, right? Why is that? That's a whole nother conversation. Why is that? But your natural hair, your black people's hair is naturally curly. But like the Bible said, you stepped away from God and you lost your crown. You're the only people where the hair on top of your head is different from the texture of hair on your eyebrows. Every other people, the hair on their head is the same texture as their eyebrows. Why is that? Why is your hair on top of your head different texture than the hair on your eyebrows? Should I teach that lesson? Maybe I'll teach that lesson as we go a little longer. At Brother Clarence, yes, sir, Brother Clarence. The Redux Light, Sister Redux. Yes, Brother Clarence. Sounds like you're talking about how women are searching for validation. That's what I'm talking about. And all validation is finding the right male. They just want to find a male, the best male that they can mate with. It's just hypergamy at work. But these scientists of business, they know how to make money off of your own hypergamous nature. That's why how they could sell makeup and how they could sell these products, because they know how to sell products to women off using their own hypergamous nature against them. It's like strip clubs. Strip clubs, they make money using a man's own nature of wanting to reproduce and have sex with a woman against them. Use your own nature against you. These scientists know what they're doing. Anyway, Arshawn, and telling a woman to pull up her emotional bootstrap when she's never had boots is a cruel jest. Yeah, man. But but like I said, Brother R, we used to have television shows that showed the Cosby's, Good Times. Yeah, we used to have shows that showed black people. I don't care how bad it got. I don't care how many times James almost got the job, or the Cosby's. I don't know how many times everything was going good, that they stuck together. They stuck together. But now you don't have nothing like that, man. You don't have nothing on TV. Everything is about women going their own way. Women living without men, right? It started with that show on HBO with the 4 white chicks. I forgot the name of the show. And then it's just sprouted up now, black women. And then it came into the show where Kerry Washington was the president's hoe, right? And so once they made that acceptable, then they just move on and on and on and on and on. It's a it's a piece by piece process. I'm gonna let y'all do that in-house stuff. JP, self actualization. I can tell you to have a servant mindset. I can tell you to start with a daily ritual of setting intention. Until you choose, you won't choose. JP, would you stop playing? You got a class, you got a course, put it up here. You got a class, you got a course for women to help them go through that, put it up here. Stop playing. Arshan, self-accusation is up the hierarchy of needs. Until the preceding issues are dealt with, self-accusation is near impossible. Yeah, you gotta see, man, everybody wants to be wanted. Everybody wants to be desired, right? But with women, it's a survival instinct. I won't survive unless the best male picks me. I'm not going to survive. My children may not survive because I want the best children out there. And to have the best children, I have to pick the best male. How do I pick the best male? I got to be in front of the best males. How do I be in front of the best males? I got to compete with other females that are like-minded. How do I compete with them? I got to stand out from them. How do I stand out from them? Wigs, weaves, whatever else is going on, right? Let's see. Sister Redux, thus more effective. Got you. Let y'all do this in-house stuff. Arshan, I'm talking about what you're talking about, JP. Look out for women that we aren't trying to have sex with. Okay. I don't know what that is. We don't have to love them romantically to impact their self-worth. We doing that now. We impacting their self-worth. But like I said, it's all playing the hypergamy game. Brother Arshan, chicken and egg at JP. Someone has to make the first move, and I was taught it was the man. Yeah, it's gonna have to be us, brother. We're gonna have to get together and stand. Just like I made a video the other day about paternity fraud. Paternity fraud will go away if every man stand up and say, "Okay, we want a law that says after every live birth, there has to be a DNA swab for anybody who wants to sign that birth certificate." Period. The end. Paternity fraud gone, goes away. It's no longer going to be a situation where men are out there paying for children that's not theirs. It goes away, right? But why ain't the state pushing it? That's something that the state should be pushing, right? Why ain't the state pushing it? Why? Because the state don't give a damn who pays. You the father, biological father or not, who cares? You think the woman cares? The woman laying there with the baby and you ain't with her a year later? You think she cares where she gets the money from? She don't care. Nobody cares. You think an attorney wants to take your case knowing you ain't got no money and it's going to cost about $15,000, $20,000 just to go to court, just to present this situation and try to turn it around? He know you ain't got the money. Nobody cares. You're a man, nobody cares. But nobody said being a man was going to be easy. Pouring into a woman you don't desire sexually is the compassion and should impact her self-worth. They don't even have an open mind. They believe they are entitled to your kindness no matter the mess. Well, like I said, JP, some of these women are very damaged. They're very damaged. Hold on, y'all. They're very damaged. All right, y'all. Here I come. I had to close my windows, man. Turn my light on. Can't see these. Yeah. Some of these women, man, they're not in a good place. Mentally, spiritually, emotionally, they're not in a good place. They're being violated. Arshan stepping out. Okay, thanks for the conversation. Appreciate you, brother Arshan. You're always welcome. You know that. You know JP don't take no shorts, so she gonna get at you for sure. JP, healed women must tell the searching how to heal, not men. No, JP, I'm not saying men need to tell the women how to heal. Men need to just have a standard of acceptance. If you're not going to behave like this, then we're not going to deal with you. If most of us did that, the women would say, okay, I know that this is unacceptable. I cannot follow in that line. And that's going to be that. I'm not going to get no man if I follow this. If I try to push this hard line, I ain't going to get no man. Not even the ones that I don't think is at the highest level, I'm going to get them. So, no, I better fall in line. Just as simple as that. You ain't going to get no man if you don't do what you're supposed to do. And men, we can create that situation. Sister John, but that's not what men are talking about. They're talking about their accountability. They're talking about black women. I'm out. Okay, Sister Don, appreciate you for stopping through. Yeah, well, that's the manosphere. That's why you don't see Brother Clarence in the manosphere. He don't get no, I don't get no, I don't get no invites over there because I may say a few things about black women, but I always keep it a buck on the men. The men are the ones that control the situation. Men are the ones that can change it. If every man said, just like I said earlier, if every man stood up and said, I'm not going to be with a woman if she got a weave in her head. That's it. What do you think these women would do? Where would they go? We're going to go date white people. Really? Really? They throw you guys out of there so fast it would make your head spin. It make your head spin. Nobody looks at the black woman and sees who they really looking at but us as black men. We see who we looking at. And we put our heads down when we see that the black woman is other than herself. It's something sad that we see. But we don't want to see that, but that's what we see. But who can help us change it? Is the black man? Can the black man change it? Or the black woman going to change it? Who's going to change it? Who can change this? We all can change it. That's the thing, man. That's the thing. The point is, how did our community get so messed up? Because black men, we're not on our case. We're not on the case. We're not on the job. We're not on the job. If we was on the case, we would. But how come we're not on the case? Because we was never taught. We were never taught about business. We wasn't taught about business. We wasn't taught about how to create business. We wasn't taught how to, they just said, hey, slavery over. Here, go. They didn't teach you how to save money. They didn't teach you how to open up a bank account. They didn't teach you how to read. They didn't teach you how to write. They didn't teach you how to none of that stuff. How are you supposed to be able to go out and set up? And even without all of that, you did set it up. You have Black Wall Street. But what happened? Jealousy and envy. They have Black Wall Street set up because they didn't want you on White Wall Street, and they still burnt it down because you was much more successful than them, and you was about to start really doing some deals with your people in Africa, and they shut you down. Am I telling a lie? Am I telling the truth? Somebody come on here and tell me that I'm telling a lie. Well, they're not, because y'all know I don't lie to y'all. I may take the long way around, but I'm not lying to you. Black men are the focal point of the black community coming together. If black men don't get their shit together, the black community is going nowhere. However, those of them that's out there, and I will tell you this, those of them out there, the Coach Greg Adams of the world that's out there, dumping on the black community, I'm telling you, man, this is the wrong time to do it. If ever there was a wrong time in history to do something like that, it's now. People, you're gonna have to make a decision. This is the what do they call that? When the people get separated? Oh, man, I forgot the name of that word, but it'll come to me later. But this is where You're gonna have to. The separation is coming. Either you with the program or you're not with the program. If you're not with the program, we're not gonna sit back and let you continue your foolishness. You ain't gonna be able to throw rocks at God's people no more. You don't realize who you are. You don't know who you are. Like you said, JP, nobody has told you who you are. I'm telling you who you are. You're God's people. That's who you are. If you don't believe me, go look it up for yourself. You guys direct descendant. So now, if you don't, now, they have a saying in sales. Somebody's gonna tell you no 7 times before they tell you yes. So you're gonna doubt me if I tell you, hey, you are worthy of God's mercy. Now, excuse me, you are not worthy of God's mercy. You're worthy of being loved by yourself. God is gonna be merciful to you just because He loved you, but you are worthy to be loved by another human being. You're worthy of love from another human being. You are worthy and worthy of love from God. You ain't worthy of His mercy, but you're worthy of love from God, right? But I got to tell you that 7 times before you accept that. I got to keep telling you that over and over again. Sister Redux and Brother Clarence, I appreciate your voice. Thank you, sister. I appreciate you. You know what I mean? I'm not asking for money or nothing. I mean, if you want to donate, that's fine. But I just want y'all to share, like JP said, just share. You know, we share amongst each other and grow each other's channels. It'll help the word out. Because you guys can see, you guys, my hardcore soldiers, you guys can see, I ain't got nothing. I ain't trying to take nothing from nobody. I'm just trying to improve the situation. I'm just trying to teach and improve the situation. Get in my lane. My lane. I ain't Anton Daniels, so I'm not here to teach you how to make $1 million in 7 days and 7 nights, right? Or teach you how to get a Roth IRA, or life insurance and all that. I'm not. Oh, Brother Daniel, you can come on and talk about life insurance, or I need to bring somebody on here to talk about life insurance, because that's the one thing that we don't do as Black people. We don't have life insurance. For whatever reason, we don't feel like we need it. But it's not, life insurance is not for you, it's for your people. If DMX had life insurance, they wouldn't be scrambling to try to put him in the ground. If AJ Johnson had life insurance, they wouldn't have been scrambling, his wife wouldn't have been scrambling to try to put him in the ground. Right? She would have had a little bit of money, she would have had to give some taxes, but she would have been able to at least put the man in the ground. Right? But we got to learn this stuff. We got to learn this stuff. Just because we don't know it don't mean we excuse from trying to learn it. Right? Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm going to have cats like Brother D and other experts, whoever want to teach it, come on and teach how to get this stuff done. I don't mess with none but people that know what they're doing. Right? I know just enough to know if they know what they're doing. And Brother Daniel knows what he's doing. Anyway, I appreciate you, Sister Redux. I appreciate you. I'm trying to do this thing, man. If any of you guys out there, you appreciate what I'm doing and you think I'm telling the truth, please share, share, and get other people to subscribe. Say, hey, it's a crazy old man. He's over there talking, man. But damn, man, we can't find a hole in this. We can't find a gap in this teaching. Man, what's going on? Anyway, I think I made my point, right? Is Black men are the focal point of the Black community coming together, getting itself together, right? We'll definitely share. Sister Redux, appreciate you. Anything that can help, appreciate you. Black men are the focal point. Brother Scott, you're not crazy. You're just speaking the truth. Yeah, brother, I'm just trying to, but a lot of people, a lot of cats don't want to hear what I got to say, man. That's how I know. You know what, Brother Scorp? You know what I realized when I was speaking a lot of the truth? When I would go talk to Black men and they just, Black men, like in this chat now, I probably have mostly women. Black men will just dismiss themselves from these conversations because they really don't want to hear. That's when I knew. I said, I got something here. Because when you start talking about black women and beating up on black women, man, I could have 100 people in here, right? Black woman ain't this, the black woman ain't that, the black woman is that, blah 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 blah, right? But when I'm saying, hey, this is the person that birthed us, this is the person that passed through death for us, and this is how we treating her? No. Yeah, she making some mistakes, and we can point those things out. But our eventual goal should be to clean ourselves up as men, so that not for us, for her. We need to clean ourselves up for ourselves, yes, but for her and our children. Because our children going to follow her, but she going to follow us. So if we all messed up, they're going to follow us into being all messed up. That's why most black people are so bad with money, because nobody taught us the science of money. Nobody taught us. My father took me, when I started my first job, he put me in the car and took me to the bank. He said, you open a bank account and you put X amount of dollars into this bank account and you keep a little bit for yourself. Turned around and had a couple $1,000s in there. Right? See, but if nobody don't teach you that, how you gonna know? My father was in the house. What about these youngins that their father ain't in the house? See, that's what happens. That's what happens. So the question is, how do we get the black man back in the house? Y'all got a heavy hitter coming in. Heavy hitter coming in the house now. Heavy hitter coming in the house. Hold on, Brother D. I see you. Hold on. Sister G, but see, this ain't the truth chamber for nothing awake, only awake. I like that. Brother D, your wife be coming up with some good ones, man. I had to take it from her. You can't hear? Can't hear me? Why don't you pop back out? I can hear you, man. Say something.
You hear me, brother?
I got you. I can hear you fine. Can you hear me? We'll work on it, Brother D. I'm going to do these chats while you're working on it, man. Brother Scort, I am more worried how today's generation will look in the future. Yeah, man, see, I'm an old cat. I'm 53, man. So I'm trying to reach back and see all these bumps, Brother Scott. I don't want no. I'm trying to save you guys, you younger guys, from getting these bumps, right? You got bump. We got me and this brother right here. We got bumps on our head already. We ain't trying to let you guys get no bumps on your head. But if these younger guys will listen, see, if I went into a crowd of 100 guys and I said, "Hey, man, if a woman with a weave comes your way, don't do it. Don't just turn your back and say, no, I'm just not interested. Thank you, sister." How many of them would do it? How many of them would actually do it? And then you told them the real reason, hey, we can get control of this business. I know the Asians have it sold up, but we can get control of this business where they at least have to sit down with us to do business. They'd have to come to us and say, okay, we got all this hair on these ships out here and it ain't going nowhere. What do you guys want? What do you want? Let us sit down with you and talk to you about what we want, right? The Asians have all these banks. Brother D, I'm going to let you get out. Can you hear me? Okay, Brother D, I'm going to take you down. Why don't you come back and try again, man? Come back in and try again. That way maybe your stuff will get better. Yeah, man, we could take over this industry, that hair industry, overnight. And then finally, if we could look at it internally and see if it's healthy enough for us, we could continue doing it. If it's not healthy enough for us, we can stop it. But you can't let me see. Hold on. Can't hear. I'm not muted. Okay. I don't know what's going on with you, Brother D. Put it like this. The comments. Can you guys out there hear me? You guys can hear me, right? Hopefully you can. I'm not just talking. You guys, if you can hear me, put a 1 out there, man. Just to let me know that it's not me, it's Brother D. Anyway, yeah, this is Truth Chamber. Only fake wait. You can hear me? Okay, thank you, JP. Appreciate you. Yeah, so black men we are the first builder. We're the first architect. Thank you, everybody. Oh, Sister Keisha, thank you for showing up. Appreciate you. We're the first builders. We're the first doctors. We're the first doctors. We're the first lawyers. We're the first politicians. We're the first everything, man. We're the first everything. The only thing we were not first at is totally disrespecting God. We're not first at that. No, somebody else, a new person came on the scene to do that. But that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother story. But we want black women to be themselves. We don't want them to have to feel like they need to put, like right now, I think they feel like they need to put their weaves in. Why? Because we as black men don't address it. Why? Why you don't address it, black man? I don't like weaves. If you talk to 10 guys, I think 9 of them will tell you, I don't really like weaves. I don't really like that. 9 of them will tell you that. The 10th one will be like, yeah, it's cool. But why you ain't saying nothing, black man? You ain't saying nothing because you're scared you ain't gonna get no special attention. So you're putting up with bad behavior. You're indirectly, positively reinforcing bad behavior. The women are looking at you and saying, this works. You hear, this works. What they're not seeing is your disgust over it, but they just seeing you being there, not because they think it's because of their weave, but it's actually because of the other parts they got. That's why you're there. And they haven't come to that conclusion yet. Why? Because they're seeing what they want to see. A lot of our women see what they want to see. They don't see what they should see. JP, we had the last 20 years to look back and see who was in charge and what was done wrong. Shining a light on mothers is crucial because they are the first to teach, thus most responsible in my opinion. Yeah, but the mother is following the direction of the father, right? If the father's not providing no direction, the mother don't have no direction to give to the child, right? And if the female don't respect the man that impregnated her, then she's going to show that disrespect when it comes to her children. And she's going to have her children soon disrespect the father. And they ain't going to listen to the father. You know why you got children out there in drugs right now? You know you got children out there in gangs right now? I'm going to tell you why you got children out there in drugs. And I'm going to tell you. Because you got parents that argue in front of the children. But you argue in front of the children, Brother Clarence, what that got to do with anything? Because let me tell you the mathematics of what happens when you argue in front of children. When you argue in front of children, mathematically what happens is the child has to make a decision. The child says to himself, one of these people is not right. I trust both of these people, but now I see that they are flawed. One of them is flawed. Which one is the flawed one? Your child got to make all this decision at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years old. They got to make this decision, and it starts them on a cascading scale down. Which parent is the flawed parent? I don't know, because I don't even know what this argument is about. But I know one of them is not right. They both can't be right, so one of them has to be wrong. Who is the wrong one? Because that's the one I want to listen to. I mean, I don't want to listen to is the wrong one. That's the one I don't want to listen to. I want to listen to the right one. I can't decide. This is your child making the decision. I can't decide who's the right person in this argument because I don't even know where it started from. So but I love both of these people. I love both of these people. This is your child's brain. I love both of these people. If I take one and leave the other will be crushed because I left her or left him and took up with one. So to make it even, I'll leave them both. I leave them both. I won't listen to neither one of them. There begins the cascade down. Now they don't listen to neither one of y'all. Hey, boy, come back in here and get in this house. I'm going with my friends. They don't know not to respect either one of you. That's why you should never argue in front of your children. Never. I don't care how bad the situation is. I don't care how bad the situation is. Never argue in front of your children. Never, 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 never. If you do, you plant the seed in their heads of rebellion. This world already teaches them how to be rebellious. This world already teaches them how to be rebellious. And if you rebel, if they rebel against you, who's out there? Who else loves them out there? The gang? The needle? The ecstasy? The lean? Who else out there loves them? Their favorite rapper? You think their favorite rapper loves them? You think one of these rappers gonna say, "Hey man, go get you some help. Go to get you some counseling"? They don't tell them nothing. They don't tell them to party their problems away. Before they know it, they caught up somewhere. Right? I was talking about a Bible verse, a Bible saying. It was a man walking in the road, the Good Samaritan, a man walking down the road, and he came upon a man that was laying on the side of the road. He took the man in to an inn not far away. He said, "Get this man lodging and whatever he needs." Paraphrase. Get this man lodging and whatever he needs. I'll pay his bill on my return. Right? What happened? What do you mean on my return? How did you mean he trusted this man that he would come back? Yeah, because your word meant something at that time. Your word means something. That's to show you. You can't just lie out here. Your word means something. Your word means something. It took me a long time to figure that out. Your word means something. And if you will to lie on your own, you ain't willing to stick by your own word. Why should anybody else stick by your own word? Anyway, he takes the man into the inn. The innkeeper, he tells the innkeeper, "I'll pay his bill. Don't worry about him. I'll pay it when I come back." Why? Because I got something I got to do. But when I come back, I'll pay his bill, right? It's like God telling this earth is the innkeeper for you. The earth is the innkeeper, and God is telling the earth, "Don't worry, I'm gonna pay their bill. I'll take care of my people. I'll pay their bill when I return." Well, when God comes back, He's gonna take care of the business that happened for you to lose your memory. We're gonna help you get your memory back, right? So they say the Levite walked on the other side of the street. That's the Jew. He walked on the other side of the street. The priest walked on the other side of the street. That's the Catholic. He walked on the other side of the street. He saw you in the street. But the Good Samaritan, why is he the Good Samaritan? Because most of the Samaritans ain't good. Most of them ain't good, right? This dude you're going to recognize right away. He's, you know what I'm saying? Notice a regular Samaritan would have said, "Hey, I'll pay on the way back." The innkeeper would have been like, "Wait a minute, hold on, bro. I know about you Samaritans. What's going on?" But he said the Good Samaritan. So this man stands out among the Samaritans. That's us, black man. We got to stand out among the people of the earth. We got to stand out. We got to go back and get the black one. We got to go back and get the black child. We got to go put these black families back together. These women ain't gonna come running to us. We got to do it. We got to do it. We got to we got to put it together. Real talk. JP, I gave a why. Women are also in lives far more than men. From birth to middle school. Again, we must shine a light on women, and healed women need to get after the work of fixing it. Absolutely, JP. Nobody's disputing that. But they can only do so much. You remember the show Good Times? James didn't have a lot of book learning, so he didn't help them with their homework. He didn't follow, but his presence there, just his presence was enough for them to make sure they was home when they were supposed to. They listened to their mama. They did what they were supposed to do. Just his presence. JP, what makes you think I'm not calm? Oh, I don't know. That must be some inside stuff there. I have not heard you mention the responsibility of men at all since I started listening to this live. Sister Rita, Sister G told me, see, I go at both people. I go at men and women, but you got to thank Sister G for that. Sister G, Sister Glenda told me, she said, hey, she got at me on the side and said, hey, bro, you're going at the women hard. When are you going to go at the men? And I said, you're right. People do me like Kevin Samuels. They think Kevin Samuels just go at women. See, he spent 3 years going at dudes hard, right? So it's my fault, Sister Redux. It was me because I had, I get asked about different topics, and so I'll go in, and I might spend a week on that particular topic. So, but Sister G, you got to thank for this because she reminded me. She said, "Hey, man, you got to even it out because you're just talking about women. That ain't gonna get it. You're gonna chase people off." And I understood what she was saying. Plus, she put me up on a little more game too, but I ain't gonna go into all that. Brother D, Brother C, I'll give you a call after the broadcast if you're available. If not, hit you up tomorrow and we can work out some technical difficulties in the show, man. Still listening. Thank you, Brother D. Appreciate you, man. I saw you fine. I thought I could hear you fine, but I guess you couldn't hear me. It's okay. JP at Redux Live because Brother Clarence is. Yeah. Brother Clarence, sorry, my last comment was JP. I know. See, this is why I try to step around the in-house stuff y'all doing while I'm actually talking up here. But anyway, it's all good, y'all. It's all good, y'all. Yeah, so men need to step into the gap. Sister Rita, you ever notice if you ever look at the any of the manosphere stuff, you'll never see me mentioned. You'll never see them talking about me. Why? Because this is why. Because I will come back and I will come with this stuff that really puts the black men on the hook. I may talk about black women. I do talk about black women too. I feel like they do some things that cause some issues too. But I don't want you guys to think that's the only. I think they're the only reason why. No, I think they are a contributing factor. But the most serious issue is a lack of commitment and leadership from black men. They are not committed to turning this thing around. We are not producing leadership that is even interested in turning this around. So that's the problem. I'm trying to fix that. Brother Daniel's trying to fix that. We trying to slowly put something together where we can either get these young guys together and try to put them in a position where they at least are interested in fixing the situation. Right now, ain't no money in fixing black people's problems, so nobody wants to do it. It's money in every other thing. It's money in sending us to jail. It's money in twerking. It's money in Pied Piperism, where these Pied Pipers, these Pied Piper rappers get out here and tell our children to go point guns at each other and go shoot each other and pull up and all of that stuff, right? Even on YouTube, man, YouTube, they will not listen to this and tell me if I'm wrong. YouTube will not put a video up where two Jewish fellows are talking about committing violence against the Jewish community. They won't. They will not put up a video of two Asians going at each other talking about committing violence in the Asian community. They will not put up a video about two LGBT people committing violence against the LGBT community. But right now, you go on YouTube, right now, you click on music, and you got videos of black men, these rappers, out there encouraging violence against the black community, against black women, black children, and other black men. They're out there pointing guns, in the video, pointing guns at other black people. See, it's money in our destruction. And so it's hard to get our people to turn around from it, because they accept it so much. Remember, I told y'all, the Hebrews, they wanted to keep Pharaoh wanted to keep the old Hebrews from the young Hebrews. Why? Because he never wanted the young Hebrews to hear the stories of the old Hebrews talking about when they were in their own land, because he didn't want them to get inspired to do anything else except serve him. That's what's going on with us. Our people, we done got to a point where the younger people don't even want to listen to the older people no more, to be inspired to do anything other than be a slave, a zombie out here. It's sad, man. It's sad. And then most of our people will say, hey, like I was on the Kings and I was talking to them about, you can't have it both ways. You can't have a drug dealer be a hero and then talk about, you just can't do it. Just can't do it. You can't stand on both sides of the street. Either one thing is wrong or it's all wrong. Period. The end. Brother Scorp, agree, Brother Clarence. Hey, thank you. I don't know what you agree with, Brother Scorp, but I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you hanging around, man. Appreciate you. Sister Rita and Brother Clarence, I agree. Overall, I think there needs to be accountability on both sides. How much on each side is up for question? Well, see, here's the thing, Sister Rita. I can't hold the sisters accountable like JP can, right? You and JP can hold the sisters accountable, and Sister G. I can only go so far. I can only point out the issue. I as a man can't motivate them to decide to change it unless they can see it, right? Men, I know how to motivate men. You motivate men with women, right? So I know how to motivate men and talking to them about different issues with men or with women. For women, only thing I could do is point out the problem. I can't use shame. I can't shame you. I'm as bad as they got. I mean, if God hadn't smiled on me, I'd be in the gutter right now. I was a walking fool. So I can't shame somebody. I can't say, oh, you're so wrong for this or that. I can't. Please believe me. You met me about 10 years ago. You said, who is that? You wouldn't even want to stand next to me because I had that much bad energy on me. But like I said, I was possessed. I had demons all over me. God bless me to walk away from that situation. JP, but see, you are holding men accountable. I don't see a reason for me to say the same thing you do, especially when I believe our women are more accountable because they are the first teacher and the leads. They are, JP, they are. But what are they going to teach? Where are they leading you to? The women are the first teacher and the teacher, and she should be teaching you about the man's rules. This is what is acceptable here. If you ain't doing this, then the man you're going to have a problem. That's what you teaching this child. This man ain't going to accept this type of behavior, right? That's what you're teaching this child. And you're leading the child into the bosom of the man, where the child behaves the way the man wants the child to behave in a righteous and dignified way. It's a reflection of that man. So he look at that child, he see himself. He see a little him, or he see a little you, right? So you got something. You got to have a an agenda to teach, right? You got to have somewhere to lead them to, and that's to the righteousness of that man. That man, but that's why picking the right man is so important. That's why they burn y'all in the manosphere. They burn y'all up. Hey, y'all pick these men. Y'all pick these dusties. Y'all pick these. They burn y'all up because you pick a man that he's fun, but he ain't worth following, because eventually you gonna have to follow somebody, right? So you pick a man, he ain't worth the pants he wearing. So you guys got to do better with that. You guys, JP, got to teach these young girls how to pick a good dude and why they should pick a good dude. A lot of them don't realize why they should, right? They don't realize why they should pick a good dude. Why should you pick a good dude? I mean, it's all hypergamous, right? But the scientists of evil have got you using your hypergamy to spend your money. Why? Why do these companies market to women more than men? Why? So it's a science to this. Why do they market more to women? Because a woman will spend her money and go in the next room and spend your money too. See, a man ain't going to do that. A man is going to spend his money, and typically a man ain't going to go into the next room and say, baby, I just saw a bicycle I want to buy. Can you give me $200 for that? Typically, a man ain't going to do that. But a woman will buy something for the baby, buy something for her, buy something. I bought you these shorts too, but I need some extra money because I'm going to buy us some new pots and pans. See? And so the man say, well, nah, I don't want to do that right now. The woman will say, but you got to do it. The sale is over tonight. You got to do it tonight. Right? Can't count how many times my wife has did that to me. I won some, I lost some. Right? But the point is, they ain't marketing that stuff to me. They ain't marketing no baby stuff on ESPN. They ain't marketing no pots and pans on ESPN. They marketing golf shoes, you know what I'm saying, golf clubs, right? But on women's channel, they marketing baby stuff. They marketing underwear for men. They marketing stuff. They marketing stuff for everybody. Why? Because they know the woman's going to spend more money. That's the science of this situation. That's the science of this situation. Anyway, I'm just talking. JP, wouldn't it be more beneficial if mothers taught universal peace? Yes, it would. I agree. Female and male children need to know inner peace to recognize it in their future mates. Don't both spirits get the most reward in service? I guess, JP, or you got to be a weirdo like most of us, and we just don't look for. We just doing it out of our heart, you know. You know what I'm saying? But you get the most out of service. Yeah, we do get the most out of service. Get the most out of seeing somebody say, man, I was going in this direction until you talked to me. Now I'm going in this direction. That's what it's all about. Remember what I said about fatherhood. I don't know about motherhood, so I can't tell you how you get, but fatherhood, you really don't hear a lot of praise. You don't get a lot of compliments in fatherhood, right? But you do every night. You get a job well done, right? Why? Because you go into your children's bedrooms and you count all the heads of your children, and all of your children's heads are in those beds. That's God telling you, job well done. Job well done, right? And you get up and do the same thing again tomorrow, and you get another job well done. Job well done, right? JP, all faith suggests the spirit is at its best in service to its mate, family, and community. Well, that's where it starts. Service starts in the house, JP. You're right about that. Starts in the house, right? Like my granddaughter right now, she'll say, Pop, are you sick? Are you okay? Can I get you something? I mean, she's 3 years old. She's 3. but she learning service is better. She feel better knowing that she's helping me feel better. I like that about her. I like that. I'm trying to keep her there. You know what I'm saying? She got the other side of her family that they crazy, but I'm trying to keep her there. But the point is, you learn to serve in your household first, then your family, then your community. It's hard to serve your community when you're not even in service in your own house. It's hard. It's hard. You know what I'm saying? So if you're gonna be in service, try to keep your spirit to where serving that's your steak. That's you eating a steak, serving somebody. When you serve somebody and you see that person for that moment, and I've been in food giveaways, I've been in backpack giveaways. You change somebody's life for that moment. In that instant, you change their life. It may not stay for the remainder of their whole life, but you change that person's life for just a minute because they recognize, hey, there's people out here that are out here willing to serve, and they ain't trying to get nothing from me. Most people are out here thinking that ain't nobody gonna mess with them unless they get something in return. They need to see, like your mother. Your mother wasn't trying to get nothing in return. Most of our mothers, I will say all of our mothers, but 99% of our mothers wasn't trying to get nothing in return from us. Your mother know your favorite dessert, and she made those cookies or that cake. My mama used to make a lemon cake with a little lemon glaze on the bottom. I gotta say it like Les Brown. You had to eat that cake. You had to take your shoes off to eat that cake. Why you had to take your shoes off? Because you had to be able to wiggle your toes. Cake was delicious. Delicious. Rest in peace, Mom. That cake was so good. And she knew that I would probably be eating most of that cake up. My father didn't eat cake that much. My brother didn't eat cake that much. She knew it was for me mostly. But she see me kind of down, and she'll say, she just would cook it. I smell it cooking, I already know. Or I see her with that particular pot out that I know that she cooks that cake in. I already know. I made sure I didn't say nothing to mess it up. I'd go do something so I wouldn't talk to her, so I wouldn't mess it up. But as my mother, man, she was not looking for nothing from me to make that cake. When she presented that cake to me, what she wanted from me was to see me enjoying it. That's what she wanted. That made her feel good, just to see me enjoying that cake. Well, we got to be like that. That's what we learn in our own house. We learn the spirit of giving in our own house. That's why the Santa Claus thing is kind of dangerous, because it makes you think that there's somebody giving something that's other. It doesn't show that the family gave these gifts. Like we gave these gifts to each other. It makes it look like there's some ethereal white man that actually cares more about the family than everybody else. So it's a slippery slope. It's a slippery slope depending on how you explain it to your children. Understand what I'm saying? Anyway, I get you, JP. I get you, JP. Mothers today hone that out of our boys, and proceed out of fear of the men they will become. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. But see, what can they do? What can they do? It's hard to teach these young men now, man. It's like look at how many people are in here now. I'm putting gold coins. I'm putting gold coins on everybody's computer right now. I'm putting gold coins on your computer right now. But look at who's here. Just the hard driving soldiers is here. Why? Because people want what they want. Nobody wants to hear about how to turn the black community around. Nobody really wants to hear about that. Nobody wants to hear about how good your mama is, and they take all this for granted. They take all this for granted. A mother's supposed to be like this. A mother's supposed to be like that. My oldest boy, My mother, you supposed to watch my child. I ain't supposed to watch your child, fool. We doing it. We helping you out. But what can I do? He's so crazy. I have to take this baby because I can't leave I can't leave her in his hands. Yeah, but it's a sad situation, JP, and it's something that I think like a lot of the women need to see. But what y'all gonna do? Y'all chased Iyanla Vanzant away. You just got rid of another mating coach. You guys got rid of another mating coach before that. All the women that have the knowledge to teach these young women are running like Jesse Owens away from black women. They running because they tired of black women and how they don't want to hear. They want to hear what they want to hear. I'm saying it'll sound the bell will toll louder when black men do it. When black men say, weaving every day is unacceptable. Okay, you got to weave here and there, maybe a couple times a year. Okay, I can deal with that. I don't want it, but I can deal with that. If you feel that you look better with that, okay, I can give me a year to break it down to you how that's really not the case. Okay, in the meantime, I'll deal with it. Anyway, Sister G, out of love, not wanting the bag. You hear what I'm saying, Sister G, right? Sometimes you do things for Brother D, and you just it ain't got nothing to do with, he don't have to say nothing. You just set it down in front of him, and you haven't even got to communicate verbally, right? That's how, sometimes my wife would do something like that. She'll just, she just buy my favorite snack, or she'll cook my favorite dish, or whatever, right? I remember I got I have gotten training. I got a certificate for training, and my wife made this beautiful dinner, cooked all this. Her and my mom got together behind my back and made this beautiful dinner, cooked the cake. The cake I liked, Sister G, cooked it just the way I liked it. I mean, they did everything for me. Everything for me. They did it behind my back. And that was cool. It was cool. It was all my favorite meals. Spaghetti, salmon croquettes, a bunch of other stuff that I like. Oh man. But they did it for me not because they wanted me to, break them off. They just wanted to see me happy. That's what mothers do. Mothers want to see you happy. They got something in them that they just want to see you happy, or women rather. They just want to see you happy, right? Men have that, but we have to reach deeper to get to that point. We don't. Most of us don't have that at our fingertips. Notice, at a touch. Most of us have to, we have to think about it a little bit and say, oh, and put some thought into it. Whereas a woman, you guys don't even have to think about it, man. Bam, come right back to you. Well, y'all, I think we did 2 hours and 48 minutes. What do y'all think? Am I right? Are some of the people in the chat right? Who's right? How can are black men responsible? And if so, what are we going to do? This is a continuing conversation. It's a continuing conversation. I mean, I put some things out. I didn't even get to half of what I really wanted to talk about, but that's okay. Hopefully you guys come back and listen to me again. But what do you guys think? Did we talk about it? Did we touch it? Did we talk about men's responsibility, black men's responsibility in particular, about the black community? Did we talk about it? Did we touch it? All right. I'm gonna shut this down in a minute. I'm gonna let y'all go, but I always like to see who's on for y'all, so y'all can see who's on. Tell y'all who's out there right now. Let's see who's out there. Conversational Kings, Suzette Speaks, Dr. BOA, Before the Billions, I think he's on now. The Mothership is on now. And that's all I see. That's all I see who's live. So, you know what I'm saying? Let me see, Sister G. Sister G, own up both sides and get it together. I hear you, Sister G. I hear you, Sister G. We trying. Hey, oh, by the way, y'all, E Black, he hit me up. He said he'd be available for Thursday to talk about this voting situation. So y'all see the other thing. We're gonna be talking about voting on Thursday. He hit me up. He said, "Hey man, I have some time on Thursday." I said, "Okay, cool. We'll do it Thursday." So y'all come back for that one. The Redux Life was food for my soul. Thank you. Hey, Sister Redux, I appreciate you. Appreciate you. If I helped you in any way, appreciate you. JP, if you find this topic interest useful, use YouTube, share the YouTube page with your community and let the conversation keep going, keep your spirit up, and see you in the streams. Yeah, man, y'all know y'all are welcome to come. I put the link out there. Y'all can cam up. But I know you guys are cooking or you with the kids or you listening, working out, whatever. Okay, that's cool. I'm just saying if you're available, you can cam up. JP, as always, peace and blessings, Brother Clarence. Have a great night. Peace and blessings to you, JP. Same to you. Same to all of y'all. And I'm going to catch y'all on the next live stream. Remember, Thursday, I think at 2 p.m. Pacific time. That's when we're going to talk to E Black about this voting thing. And we're going to get that straight. We're going to get it straight. All right, y'all. See y'all. And thank y'all for stopping in. Appreciate y'all.